Happy President's Day, by the way. What a holiday. A lot of President's Day sales. How about Martin Van Buren and William Henry Harrison?
What about him?
And Tippy Canoe and Tyler, too. I mean, what were they? Chopped liver?
Anybody here seen Jack Abramoff? His orange jumpsuit and fedora. He screwed a lot of people, but thieves sometimes get caught. A garden variety, neocon. Anybody here seen good Christian Dobson? Will be moral founder Tom. He's not convicted yet, but should be before he's done taking a shower with his son. Oi! Favors and lies is what the White House is paid for. Moralist Christians who know what's best for you and me. Abramoff that way. He was in some deep, in other words, duty. Anybody here, please say to Tom Delaney, Gornish Elfman, Hoxahoyt. These kind of slides belong in Camp KY. Abramoff, Dobson, and Tom.
10:02 at 560. Happy President's Day. Who's your favorite president, huh? How about Zachary Taylor? Or James Knox Polk? Or Millard Fillmore? Huh? Or Chester Arthur? Or B. Arthur? What do you say? Chester Riley?
Okay.
All these, all you people get a little bit nervous because there's a little bit of chill in the air in South Florida, and it's 30s and low 40s and stuff like that. It's minus 12 here in Toronto, although sun is shining. It's like plus 10 Fahrenheit, 10 degrees. And you get used to it, you know?
You're right, by the way.
Weather is one of those things you get used to, you dress for it, and unless it's like a blizzard and the wind is blowing a zillion miles an hour and you can't, like that. Unless it's like that, you make allowance for it. Now, I had an exciting day yesterday at Woodbine. I actually had a winning day.
All right.
Well, $500. I mean, not enough to put a dent into my, I've had a rough go since I came back early from my vacation in Woodbine. I haven't found a good machine. Maybe I ought to try Reverend Moon. I'm going to pray to him next time, see if old Reverend Cockamoon can do it for me. Cute. So I don't know what we're doing here today because the morning guys aren't on and the humper's not on, just me and the Mad Dog and Eddie K. In fact, what a bizarre lineup today. We had Geldy this morning. Speaking of bizarre, saw him last night, or was it, not last night, Saturday night. Panthers and Lightning. That was quite a game. Anybody out there watch it?
No.
Go to it?
No.
No, Panthers won overtime 5-4, and of course their goaltending is an embarrassing and disgrace. But are we going to talk about hockey?
No.
A lot of hockey talk I was listening this morning, which I figure ought to get us about a minus 0.1? We got Mad Dog at 2. Thank the Lord for that.
All right.
And then we got the Power Hour only with the Mad Dog 4 to 5. So in other words, he's doing 2 to 5 solo is what that means. Forget about the Power Hour today. Then Eddie K for the Humper between 5 and 7. So the Humper's taken off for a President's Day. I bet you I know which president he liked. William Howard Taft.
Why?
Because he was big and fat.
Oh.
Well, Teddy Roosevelt was too.
Not that big.
Who, Teddy Roosevelt wasn't?
Not that fat. I mean, he was, but he wasn't like this big balloon.
William Howard Taft was a big,
huge,
fat guy. Yeah, huge. Now, didn't he get assassinated, William Howard Taft, or am I dreaming?
I don't know.
Huh? James Garfield, he got assassinated, A.B. Lincoln, and JFK. It's part of the American history. Anyway, Eddie K for the Humper 5 to 7. Hurricane Hotline 7 o'clock. That's pretty embarrassing. And then Jesse Agler 9 to 10. That's our holiday lineup for you. How many students, high school students, college students, could name the presidents?
Oh, please. Now, I used to be able to, but then I forgot. None. 0. The answer is 0. None.
None?
I used to be
From
able
George
to.
Washington to a W?
Right. I used to be able
From
to.
George
I know
W?
you can.
I never really thought about that before. Went from George Washington, George W. to George W. Now, Pop had George Washington. Look what we got. Mm-hmm.
And a champion of liberty.
Speak of the devil.
Abu Ghraib.
And he is the devil. Speaking of that, more good news from Iraq. String of bombings killed 17 in Baghdad, including 2 more American soldiers. A string of bombings killed at least 17 people today in the Baghdad area, a day after a massive car bomb attack on a Shiite area market delivered the first major blow to the U.S.-led security crackdown. It's working just fine. Not. Attacks in other parts of Iraq pushed the overall death toll near...
About 30, man.
30. U.S. forces also reportedly came under attack. They clashed with insurgents north of Baghdad after a suicide bomber apparently tried to break through barriers around a joint U.S.-Iraqi base. And it goes on. I mean, what's the point? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's the thing that amazes me about America. Talk about apathetic. It's just amazing. They could be killing like 1,000 people a day over there, and it's like, oh, gee, I don't know if that's going to work out so well, and if that was such a good idea. Although, you know, we better get the terrorists over there before they get us over here. All these stupid-ass cliches.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with Brittany shaving her head? You know, last week it was Anna Nicole's rotting body, and the week before that it was about the ditzy-crazed female astronaut who was stalking or trying to kill her rival. And this week it's Brittany. With Tainted Goods.
Yeah, misshapen head, by the way.
Tainted Goods. Yeah, maybe she's related to that Purper guy. Medical examiner. What is he, Chris? Chris told me last week what he is. He's the
medical examiner.
Medical examiner. Thank you very much.
Jesus Christ.
He's not listening to you, George.
I know.
He had to listen to you enough this morning before the show.
Apparently.
George said medical
examiner.
examiner.
For Friday. George was out sick on Friday, so this morning he gave me his lecture about life and how I should behave and my attitudes. And I thank you very much. You're a real mentor. That's all that I would. Some people are tormentors. That's what I would like to be, just a mentor. Yeah. We have plenty of tormentors.
You should see it, though, when he gets into his, I'm going to console you and tell you the way things are. He puts on his, Mr. Rogers blue sweater and everything.
Does he
really?
The
big dad.
Console me about what?
It's a cardigan.
I don't need any consolation. Everything is great. Things are wonderful. Anyway, a salon owner tried to talk Brittany out of shaving her head, but the singer insisted, actually used a buzzer to do the job itself. Itself. I still got just a little from the cold, a little bit of that phlegm. Yeah. And, of course, how many thousand times have we seen that over the weekend?
About 30, man.
30,000. Salon owner Esther Tagnazzi said Spears appeared at her shop late last week. This is in Geles, California. I know California fairly well, but I never heard of that. Geles. Am I saying that right even? Jealous? Are you jealous? Salon owner Esther Tagnazzi said Spears appeared at her shop late last week and announced she wanted all of her hair cut off. Tagnazzi said she refused to do it and tried to reason with the singer. Are you sure you're not having a bad day? Tagnazzi recalled asking Spears, and tomorrow you'll feel differently about it? Why don't we wait a little bit, she said. At that point, Tagnazzi said the singer grabbed some electric clippers, went to the back of the shop, began cutting her hair off. She began buzzing. Yeah, yeah, just like that. I'll tell you one thing, man. Talk about tainted goods. She ain't what she used to be.
Nope.
All Tagnazzi did was even it out, the salon owner said. Later, Spears was at a San Fernando Valley tattoo parlor sporting her newly bald head. Video on KABC TV showed the newly shorn Spears with tiny tattoos on the back of her neck as she sat Friday night for a new tattoo, a pair of red and pink lips. Which, of course, how could I resist?
Yeah.
Huh? If I can find it.
I've got 2 sets of lips.
Well, congratulations. She just wanted something real small on her wrist, something dainty, Max Scott, the tattoo artist at Body and Soul in Sherman Oaks, told the TV station. She got some cute little lips on her wrist. No comment about that. Derek Snell, who works at the tattoo parlor, said Spears showed up without notice and stayed for about 90 minutes as about 60 fans, photographers, and gawkers gathered outside. All the gawkers all the time. She seemed fine, Snell said. I didn't really notice the hairdo at first. She had a hood on when she showed up. Maybe she's hanging out in the wrong hood. You think that's possible? I think she's been hanging in the wrong hood for a long time. Although, quite frankly, I think, some of the trailer trash looks pretty good. So the fact that she used to look so great, she just glorified trailer trash, I'm thinking. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
And, of course, that Kevin Federline. Oh. Wow. Oh, my God. That should tell you where she was coming from. Birds of a feather procreate together. Here's our poll question from Friday, and boy, this brings me such great sorrow. And Josh Cordes was giving me so much grief for doing this again, wasn't he, Chris?
Yeah, those young kids. What are they talking about?
Yeah, what do they know? Well, no, I mean, George and I had decided we were going to do this Friday last week, and who the hell is? Although he did a fine job, I will say that.
I mean, I know why we were doing it was to see how many people have learned from last.
And not very many.
Yeah.
Talk about a bunch of slow learners. I said on Friday, I said, bathing with soap is like watching black and white television. You think that's a good analogy?
Sure.
I mean, talk about outdated.
Although you get more hair on you bathing with soap than
from watching black and white TV.
Yeah.
You never know. Groucho used to be on there. He's kind of a hairy guy. And then the Duck.
You bet your life.
Which do you bathe with? 1,737 votes. I'm a male and I bathe with soap. Well, and we're so sorry. 867. Don't drop it now. 49.9%. We finally got a little bit under 50, and at that point I chopped the thing off. I chopped it, and the poll too. I'm a male. I use body wash. 577. 33 per third. Only a third of our guys out there using body wash. That is so. I'm embarrassed for you. I don't know what to do. I'm going to pray. I seldom bathe. 116. Yeah, we ought to start praying on that. Don't get downwind from any of these people. Oh, there was a woman yesterday. I hate to say this. A woman playing, thankfully, briefly, next to me at a machine yesterday at Woodbine. She farted so bad that I thought I was going to swoon. I thought, I have never in my life. My eyes were watering.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was reaching for my soda, which was to the right of my machine. Was sitting next to it, my Diet Coke. And so I leaned over a little bit to the right. I reached down. Just at that point, well, you know what I'm saying.
What do you say?
Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. Talk about a bad machine, man. I seldom bathe. 116. Female uses body wash. 71. See, the ladies are into it. I hate this poll. 57. Only 3.2%. And female using soap. Only 49. Well, it's a lady thing, the body wash. Guys, real guys, don't you? Yeah, there's Axe, and there's Adidas, and there's every masculine brand out there under the sun. So macho, man, that even Chuck Heston, in his really macho 3 days, 100 years ago, would have been embarrassed. He would have blushed. But not this crowd, man. We want that soap. We want to hang on to it. We want to squeeze it. We want to squirt against the wall, bend over and pick it up, maybe. Drop it again and again. So you get slippery, maybe, dropping it.
Sports Radio 560 UA.
Rectum.
Yeah. MONDAYSUCKS.
What would you do if I had normal boobs? Would you still run out and buy my CD?
No.
Do you get along when I screech out a song, despite how much I sing off key? I'ma get by with implants in my breasts. I get guys with implants in my breasts. I don't have to try with implants in my breasts.
Did you audition for anybody?
I only had to pull my panties down.
Are they pleased with your body?
Yeah, not to mention where I put my mouth.
Can you succeed by just spreading your legs?
Yes, it doesn't matter if it's a girl or a guy.
How long will you be, sweet and just 17?
Well, at least until I'm out of rehab at 35. I get by with implants in my breast. I get guys with implants in my breast. I don't have to try with implants in my breast.
Have you pleased your backstage mommy?
She lives through me vicariously.
On your knees for the money.
Well, in this business, that's the most important thing. I might get by with implants in my breast.
All right, 1019. That's your good close friend Anna Maria there.
Yes.
We were just talking about her on Thursday, and then of course you were out sick the next day. I wonder what that was all about.
Puking.
Here's the poll from today, and we have 1,003 votes. Our goal is 1,000. We got 1,003. Why do we have 1,003? Because I put it on there late Saturday afternoon. Because I don't know, maybe Josh Cordes laid a little guilt trip on me, that thing about the body wash thing again. I mean, we've been there and done that, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it, but he's, he does love me, though, Josh. Mm-hmm. He told me that several times, and he also told me he wanted me to be in my will. And I asked Chris, I said, what would be, the appropriate stipend to leave Josh in my will? He said, maybe about $50. And I thought, well,
about $30.
Yeah, that'd be appropriate. 1,008 votes on the poll, and this, of course, we've had too many gay polls lately. In school, we used to dance around, not dance, but I guess we did that. What do you call it? You go around the maypole? What is the maypole?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, it's a big pole, and everybody grabs a ribbon or a rope, and then
you march around it.
Skip around it, run, you prance. Most of the kids.
I think that's when I started being gay. Yeah, when I was prancing around the maypole.
Gay.
And turned into the gay pole.
Gay. And you interweave through each other.
And, of course, in Amsterdam, the airport is Schiphol, so there you go.
And you weave a pattern on the pole with the ribbon.
I'm going to get on a plane right now and go to Amsterdam. Just for the hell of it, to that damn square, Gay people are, 1,008 votes, are born that way, 484. Are fine with me, 245. Well, thank you so much for your acceptance. Of course, I made the choices on the poll, so why should I be busting their balls, right? That's bad.
Right, just like you made a choice to be gay.
No, of course. I woke up one day and I thought, well, wouldn't that be great? And then everybody could call me names and pansy and fairy and queer and sissy and stuff like that. But at any rate, gay people are fine with me, 245. Choose that life, 75. Right. I don't want to waste my time going back over all that stupidity out there. Well, I better get to that. Where's the story? About the car wash? Do you see that about Tim Hardaway's car wash?
No. What happened?
They changed the name.
Huh.
Oh, and Tom Brady's former girlfriend is pregnant. I wonder how that happened. I guess probably the traditional way.
What did they change the name of the car wash to? I hate fags and wash?
Yes. Don't tell me I lost that. That would be really bad if I lost that story in my pile here. That would be extraordinarily bad. And then I have to start. Oh, here it is. Tim Hardaway's car wash changes name after I hate scandal. Oh, and then this business I heard the Geldy talking about this morning. Well, he said that he doesn't use the word hate like other people use it. In other words, he uses it a lot.
He lightly hates.
Yeah, he hates everybody. And of course, he's in South Florida, so it figures. Former Miami Heat star Tim Hardaway's name is off his South Dixie Highway car wash just days after he declared on a local radio program, I hate gay people. Hardaway apologized, but the backlash has cost him a national endorsement deal and an appearance at the NBA All-Star Game weekend activities, which nobody watched yesterday anyway. A local gay rights group then called for a boycott of Hardaway's US 1 finest hand car wash at South Dixie Highway and Bird Road. Saturday, a new sign went up. Grand Lux Auto Bathe. Now, maybe it's supposed to say Grand Lux Auto Bath, but it's spelled B-A-T-H-E, so I'm pronouncing it as it is written, Grand Lux Auto Bathe.
Okay.
Hand Car Wash Detailing Center. So everybody should know that the Grand Lux Auto Bathe is still Tim Hardaway's joint.
Sure.
Because the old sign it shows here in the Herald, the old sign said, Tim Hardaway presents Finest Hand Car Wash, US 1, with a big 1 in front of it, And now it's Grand Lux Auto Bathe. So that's still Tim Hardaway for all you people out there that aren't too pleased with his behavior lately and his attitude, and he hates this. He hates a lot, I guess, is his deal. He just uses it like, well, I guess we're supposed to forget all the elaborations that he made about how he wouldn't want to shower with them, and he wouldn't want them on the team, and he'd want them to be traded, or he'd want to be traded, and he isn't into that crap, and he can't stand it, and feh, and ack, and yuck, and like that, We're supposed to forget that. And quite frankly, do I really give a crap what he thinks? No, he's small potatoes. He's like Frankie Pentangeli, baby. Only Frankie was at least entertaining, Frankie Pentangeli was very entertaining. So I said, yeah, sure. He was good. I love him. Mm-hmm. Gay people choose that life, 75. You should live so long. That's 7.3% of this audience just living in total ignorance. Love Tim Hardaway. Gay people love Tim Hardaway, 58. We love you, Tim. Love you, just like we love Josh Cordes. Gay people want me, 39. And the people who vote for that, you ought to see them, man. Wouldn't touch them with your hand or tongue. Gay people hate this. I hate this poll, 37, only 3.6%. Thank God. Gay people are all flamers, 22.
Flaming.
Right, like me. Like Dave Copay. Gay people wish they were straight, 19. No, I don't know. You know something? In my life, I have never met one gay person who wished that they were heterosexual. I've never met one. Oh, if you just come to the Christian Church of bullcrap. Yeah, they had a call about that last week at the morning show, one of the calls. And, of course, they don't refute any of this. They don't debate it. They just let them spew their garbage.
Sure, why not?
Never challenge it. But that's easy.
So why would they? That would make them gay.
Because that would make them gay. Yeah. Gay people wish they were straight, 19. Are easy to spot, 17. Sometimes. What are you laughing about?
It's the pink triangle on their shirt.
I got news for you. Most gay guys I know are not into that pink triangle, but nevertheless. Gay people are easy to spot, 17, and scare me, 14. Scare me.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
In fact, every time I see a gay person, like on Young Street or Church Street, I go,
Well, you know why they're afraid? Like that guy that called in on Thursday.
Yeah.
You know, the more you're around gay people, the more you're going to become one, because it's
yeah.
a choice. So if you hang out with them, then you're going to be like them.
You're going to choose to be like them.
Mm-hmm. Just talking to one is going to make you gay.
I would think so. And listening to one, boy, that's going to convert you. I bet you by 10:45, all of you people out there will be
gay.
No question. Even the most macho guys.
That's right. Hope you watched this morning, Chris.
Beg your pardon?
I said I hope Chris watched this morning because, we're going to be gaying it up by 2 o'clock.
I always watch.
Chris had a little, I don't want to go into it. He had a little episode. Nature, I don't know.
Wasn't little.
Like I said, I was waiting for the adult stall to
line up. Kind of a stall routine there at QAM.
He likes the handicrapper because he needs those rails.
Do we have to really go deeply into this?
He needs to study himself.
27 past 10 at 560 WQAM for 21 years. Look at that. Black and blue, that one.
At my junior, honey.
Warning. The following may not be suitable for children.
Celebrities Gone Wild. It's the hot new video series that shows real celebrities getting into real trouble. Celebrities Gone Wild. Your all-time favorite stars are hitting all-time lows. See Hollywood madman Tom Sizemore get busy on Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss. It's a hit. Celebrities Gone Wild also features clips from L.A. Lakers superstar Kobe Bryant.
How you doing, baby? How about a little room service, you know what I'm saying?
Celebrities Gone Wild is jam-packed with famous people who are famous for their infamous behavior. There's Diana Ross, Nick Nolte, Bobby Brown, Michael Jackson, Robert Downey Jr., and the list goes on. Plus, Robert Blake gets drenched in ice-cold water for a super sleazy wet prison jumpsuit contest.
Where it takes sin to win.
Order Celebrities Gone Wild in the next 10 minutes, and we'll include this free Arnold Schwarzenegger video called Celebrities Gone Crazy.
I want to be governor of California.
Celebrities Gone Wild and Celebrities Gone Crazy. Order now before all these stars are in jail, rehab, or the governor's mansion.
You think Arnold likes cauliflower? Wouldn't surprise me. I know you know. You better get with your veggies, mister. You better get right with the Lord, or you're going to wind up in burning in hell. I can smell it already. Oh, man. 10:32 at 560 WQAM. Happy President's Day. What about Andy Jackson, huh?
What about him? Engine killer.
What about John Quincy Adams?
Engine killer.
You know, I could do this, and there are a couple that I always get wrong.
What, do the
when
president?
I was in high school, when I was a senior in high school, his name was Kaminsky. He was a young guy, young teacher, and actually not a bad-looking guy. But anyway, he was my history teacher. And he took like a whole week to teach the class the American presidents. And, of course, at that time, I knew him like the palm of my hand. I thought to myself, why are you wasting all of this time?
How useful.
Yeah. Well, how much of what you learned in school was useful anyway? Most of what you learned in school is a bunch of crap. They didn't even teach you how to write a check in school, at least not when I went to school.
They did me.
Yeah, well, a lot of good it's doing for you.
Anyway. I don't know how to write them, I just don't know how to make them.
Just can't cover them. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's it.
Now, I could do it off the top of my head. You think I should try the challenge or not? I don't want to show off.
Why not?
Well, not right this second. I'm not going to Google it. I'm not going to cheat. I mean, I wouldn't do something stupid like that. Here's a fax from Joe before I get to our presidents. It is President's Day, for Christ's sakes. Most of you people wouldn't know Grover Cleveland Alexander from Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland Alexander was a pitcher.
I know Grover from Sesame Street.
Do you?
Damn, you beat me to it.
Oh, guess what I saw a little bit of again last night, and again it sucked, American Dad.
Sorry, I missed it because our cable was out.
It was very weak.
It still is.
Very weak.
It was a takeoff of the Tom Hanks movie that was just out, The Big Book.
Oh,
that I can't remember the name of right now.
And they take a joke that's not that funny in the first place, like Dad falling down through all those stairs or whatever it was, and it just goes on and on. It might have been funny the first time, like like that, but I didn't like it. Let me know when a good episode's going to be on, and let me know when Real People Denver is going to be on. God almighty, I am just dying to see that.
Yeah, that season's over.
What?
I'm just messing with you.
Warned you about this guy.
Here's the facts from Joe. He says, "Good morning, Neil. I was listening to you last Friday when you described the scene in Amsterdam that brought back some great memories. During August of 2004, my wife and I visited Amsterdam. We stayed in Amsterdam for 2 weeks, but took side trips all over Holland and did a day-and-a-half excursion to Cologne, Germany. Wow, good choice. What a beautiful place that is with beautiful people. Cologne, Germany. Mamma mia. On one Sunday morning while in Amsterdam, we visited the museum Amstelkring, the Maritime Museum. I don't even know what that is. With me, I'm not a museum person. Does that make me a bad guy? I'm just not into that.
A lot of things make you a bad guy, and that's one of them.
Oh. Thanks for your enthusiastic recommendation.
Well, I mean, it depends on the museum.
Yeah. Well,
the
Maritime Museum.
Maritime.
Neil, you probably know the museum is fairly close to the St. Nicholas Church, and both the church and museum are close to the red light district. On our way to the museum, we took the number 5 tram from South RAI station and got off at Damrak. A 10-minute walk from the Damrak took us to the museum's doorstep. As we walked to the museum, we walked by a few sex shops. We walked by a few ladies sitting by their windows waiting for the next customer, and we walked by lots and lots of people coming from or going to St. Nicholas Church. We saw older folks, young couples with small children, middle-aged couples with teenagers, all kinds of people walking or riding their bicycles around this area as we approached our destination. Neil, we didn't hear one word from anyone about the surroundings. No one was laughing or giggling about the novelties hanging on the sex shop windows. No one even pointed at one of the girls. Everyone was going on with his or her own life and leaving everyone else alone. It was a beautiful thing. I've seen a few beautiful things in Amsterdam, I'll tell you that. We loved our visit to the museum and headed back to the Damrak for lunch that afternoon. It was another wonderful day in Amsterdam, and your comments last Friday made me remember it all. Thanks, Neil. P.S. Did you know Celia Cruz's husband died about a month ago? Oh, my God. We start out with good news, and then we get like...
I am Celia Cruz, and I am dead now, but I remember when I was alive. I will let you do
Oh, Celia's husband is dead. Muerto, I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you, Joe. And that's something, and that's what I was talking about the other day, the fact that it's no big deal, ain't no thing, you know, and about American attitudes being so puritanical and so in the Stone Age, and Americans think that they're so much hipper and cooler and sexier than anybody else. You're full of crap. I mean, look at the poll. 7.2% of the audience thinks that gay people choose that life. In other words, 7.2% of the audience are idiots, morons, fools. Or maybe they're just saying that either to piss me off or because they're a bunch of bigoted idiots, narrow-minded, dumb. Anyway, speaking of American Puritanism, Lubbock, Texas, did you see the story about the Chippendales?
No.
Really?
Really?
Police arrested 8 Chippendales dancers and 3 others during the first of 3 sold-out performances Friday, accusing them of violating the city's adult entertainment ordinance. Officers raided Jake's Sports Cafe about 30 minutes after the show started and the venue was closed. They arrested the venue's manager, the show's promoter, and the dancer's manager, along with the dancers in front of a disgruntled crowd of women. Shortly after, several hundred women began shouting, "Bring them back! Bring them back!" And the city council sucks. The city council sucks. Authorities say the dancers violated a city ordinance which bars contact between entertainers and patrons. Lieutenant Greg Stevens of the Lubbock Police said the dancers were simulating sexual positions with audience members. Oh, simulating sexual positions.
Oh, my God.
So I guess if you bend down to pick up the soap, you guys that are dropping the soap all the time, you're simulating a sexual position. And they're going to come and get your ass, so to speak. Jake's Sports Bar owner, Scott Stevenson, said his establishment did everything, and this is chopped off. I hate that. Comparatively, it's a classy production, said Greg Jackson. The dancers do not take off all their clothes. I mean, they don't get naked. They're not showing their privates. You know what the Chippendales are all about. Stevenson said he feels the police were there to shut them down. Police said they intended to get an arrest warrant for Stevenson. Haul his ass away. That's America for you, baby. Let's haul everybody's ass away. In fact, that's what America loves to do more than anything else, is throw everybody's ass in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's any other westernized country that has the percentage of its people, its male population in jail that America does? I sure doubt it.
We know they don't.
But nevertheless. 1,061 votes on the poll about gay people because Tim Hardaway says he hates gay people. And, somebody sent me on our MySpace thing about the article I read about Hardaway being on with Pat Robertson. And they were inquiring where I found that. Somebody faxed that in, and I don't know whether it was real or not because I tried to Google it, too, to get more information or verification on it. And it could have been a bogus thing somebody made up. I don't know. It looked pretty legit to me. I mean, you're a regular viewer of the 700 Club. Let me know when he's going to be on. Maybe that'll be on right after Real World Denver. It'll be a tough choice for me if they're opposite each other, The 700 Club with Pat Robertson and Tim Hardaway, or Real World with all those people on it. Gay people are born that way, 505, are fine with me, 264. That's 72% right there, right off the bat. Choose that life, 76. 7.1% of the most ignorant people on the face of the globe. Stupid. Talking about crap that they know nothing about. Gay people love Tim Hardaway, 59. They're after your ass, Tim. Gay people want me, 41. And let me say it again. There are a lot of people out there who are wanted desperately by gay people, but I'm sure that the 41 people, of those 41, maybe a couple of them might be wanted by anybody, and the others probably not wanted by anything alive. I hate this poll, 37, only 3.4%. Gay people are all flamers, 26. They're all like Richie Simmons, baby. Gay people wish they were straight, 20. Are easy to spot, 18. And scare me, 15. Like Luca Brasi, man, just like me. I'm a very scary guy.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers.
That's it.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
To all the boys he's loved before.
You fairy.
From ages 12 to 24. He wants to change his life, a baby and a wife. God knows what his kid has in store. To all the boys from Neverland, you're finally safe from his gloved hand. There's no more Ferris wheel, playing let's make a deal. And when he pees, he sits, not stand.
1046, here's the facts I've been waiting for. I don't know who this is from. It's obviously a lady. No question about that. You can tell by the printing, can't you?
Yes, I can.
She says, love you, Neil, at the end of the facts. Here's the information I've been dying for. The Real World Denver is on at 10 p.m. Wednesday nights. I do know that. Last week's premiere episode is repeated at 9:30 p.m. this Wednesday. You don't want to miss that episode. It was all about Davis and his boyfriend who comes to visit him in Denver. Very hot. Oh, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle that. But I'll give it my best shot. Thanks, whoever this is from. Thank you so much. And an excerpt, and I might actually take some calls today, but I'm not really sure. Remember last week the one guy saying, "Hey, thanks for taking calls again. I'll take them when I'm in the mood to take them, when I feels like it,
right.
when I be feeling like it."
And when some come in.
Oh well, it's a holiday. You got to know we got to be doing a skeleton crowd today. You think we got our full audience out there today?
No traffic this morning.
And my commiseration to anybody who's got to work today. Although this is, I don't know, What the hell was that? I thought somebody was coming into the apartment here. Maybe it was Al Goldstein. Yeah, use the apartment, Al. Use the apartment. It's not a real holiday. Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, Abe Lincoln, Lincoln, Andy Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, Chester Alan Arthur, etc. All of these. How about the only president who was elected twice non-consecutive terms?
Oh, what's his name?
Grover Cleveland.
I was just going to say that. Damn it.
And then who was the president who intervened, or who in between intervened and whatever?
I don't know.
Benjamin Harrison.
Oh, I got the wrong.
Well, there you go. I wonder now. I'm sure that they must have been kin. William Henry Harrison was the president who was inaugurated out in the rain. He made his inaugural address in the rain and got pneumonia. And he died like in a few days. He wasn't president too long. He wasn't too bright. An excerpt from his forthcoming book, a Salon columnist warns that the changes in political power set in motion by President George W. Bush have brought the United States closer to a future in which authoritarianism is possible. Authoritarianism, what did I say?
Oh, my God.
As Joe Conason warns, Americans for the first time since Nixon have reason to doubt the future of democracy and the rule of law in their own country. Isn't that special? What's that got to do with Britney's haircut? The excerpt comes from Conason's new book, It Can Happen Here, Authoritarian Peril in the Age of Bush. He states up front that the idea of an American slide into authoritarianism is not based in any paranoia, but comes because the current president has repeatedly asserted and exercised authority that he does not possess under the Constitution he swore to uphold. Conason says there's growing public anxiety and anger about the Bush administration's use and abuse of power. Two events that particularly have raised public concern were the misbegotten, horrifically mismanaged war in Iraq to the heartless mishandling of the Hurricane Katrina disaster. He notes that we do not know the full dimensions of the scandals behind Iraq and Katrina because the Republican leaders of the Senate and the House of Representatives advocated the traditional congressional duties of oversight and investigation. Their unwillingness to take on the president on these issues was due to an acquiescence with authoritarianism, he writes. He says the style of the Bush regime is seen in its almost casual contempt for democratic and lawful norms, an expanding appetite for executive control at the expense of constitutional balances, a reckless impulse to corrupt national institutions with partisan ideology, and an ugly tendency to smear dissent as disloyalty. It's the old smear and schmear. Conason doesn't believe that the 2006 turnover of the Congress, Democratic control, will be enough to push back against Bush's authoritarian turn. He points to the Senate's narrow Democratic majority as a major obstacle to checking the White House. Like that great vote on Saturday. Wasn't that something special, huh?
Yeah.
The question he asks is, in the era of terror alerts, religious fundamentalism, and endless warfare, whether we are still a brave nation or whether our courage and our luck have finally run out. Or is that run out? Man. I don't want to get you all depressed on a holiday, because it is President's Day.
Yeah.
There was Ike, there was Truman, there was FDR, there was Hebert Hoover, there was Calvin Coolidge, Warren G. Harding, Woodrow Wilson. See, I'm just fumbling these around in my mind in groups, in clumps, you know, like hemorrhoids in big clumps. Why is it important to know that? And of course, see, the American public, the education system is so bad, they don't teach you anything about the world. And you know the best way you learn about the rest of the world?
What's that?
Is to travel, to go somewhere. Yeah. That's one of the reasons that most Americans don't know a damn thing about anything outside. In fact, most people don't know anything about what's going on outside of their, their own hood. Very sad. Oh, speaking of your buddy Tim Hardaway in our poll today, the mayor of North Miami offered former Heat star Tim Hardaway an invitation to spend some time with a gay couple. That just might be going on right now, and the world may be coming to an end. Did you see this?
No.
As the firestorm continued over Tim Hardaway's anti-gay remarks on radio, the mayor of North Miami, who is gay, invited the ex-Heat star to spend a day with him. Day with him. Maybe it's gay days at the mayor's house. I guess every day is gay day at his house, so what's wrong with that? On Friday, Hardaway accepted, the mayor said. We're just trying to show him that there are living and breathing people that just happen to be gay, said North Miami Mayor Kevin Burns, who lives with his partner 23 years, and an adopted daughter, who's a real cutie pie, by the way. Here they are with the little girl. He's still working out details of the visit with Hardaway's representatives. Expects they're going to make a joint announcement today. Oh, I thought they were having their meeting today. They're going to make a joint announcement today, and George will be there smoking it. You're always there for a joint announcement, aren't you?
I'll drive.
The plan is for Hardaway to join Burns and his family for a routine weekday at the mayor's office and home, doing things like dropping off Burns' child at school, meeting with constituents, and dinner with family. Hardaway's been hit hard since the broadcast on local AM radio station The Ticket, in which he said, I don't like to be around gay people and shouldn't be in the U.S. or the world. Well, where else am I going to go? How about Uranus? If we can't go to the U.S. or the world, don't leave too much. How about, I don't know. Where does that leave? How about hell, I guess? Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Although we apologized within an hour, let's see, we know about the NBA, bada beep, bada boop. On Friday, Hardaway spent the day with his family, pleading for privacy as TV cameras continued a vigil outside the gates of his Pinecrest home. Terry Washington, a spokeswoman for Hardaway, said the former 5-time All-Star had not yet spoken to Mayor Burns and that any announcement would be premature, a premature evaluation. Hardaway played for the Heat from 95 through 2001. On several occasions, he expressed interest in returning to the Heat's roster, but each time was turned down. Burns has some experience building bridges outside the gay community since he won the mayor's seat decisively in 2005, despite some hostility in the city without much of a gay constituency. He has been open but low-key in public about his relationship with Rob Flint, his partner of 23 years, and their adopted daughter, Autumn. During the mayoral campaign, Burns said he understood the discrimination faced by Haitian Americans and African Americans who predominate in the city. I don't expect Hardaway to be waving a peace flag anytime soon, even after this, Burns said Friday. But maybe he'll be less likely to say something bad about people if he knows them and understands a little bit more. I think what he's trying to say is that he's ignorant. He's speaking from ignorance because he doesn't know these people. He doesn't have any idea what he's talking about. Which, of course, a lot of you folks do, and a lot of folks everywhere do that. You know, when you're dumb, you just open up a big mouth and, well, I think they're all a bunch, and I think they chose this, and all this other crap. Yeah, choose this, okay? Just like those license plates, choose life. Speaking of your gay governor.
Gay.
When's he coming out? 1,089 votes on the poll. The reason we got so many votes is because we had like, I don't know what we had, 900 and some when we started this morning, because I put this on there over the weekend. Only because I was so easily intimidated by Josh Cordes about the body wash poll. I don't think there was anything wrong with that, but it wasn't going to change. I remember once upon a time I could come on here with the bagel bites and the Boca burgers. Remember those glorious days?
Oh, yeah.
Fish food.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the impact of, what's his name?
Neil, God!
Back in the day. Oh, and speaking of that, I knew I had something mighty important, but being old and feeble, of course, it slips my mind. You realize what next Thursday is? Not this Thursday. Next Thursday, March 1.
Right. Your anniversary.
31 years. Is that incredible or what? I mean, you're not, easily impressed by anything.
No, it's incredible.
31 years, man. Isn't that something? I was thinking about this yesterday. Here it is, the year 2007, and words that we have to bleep out, and bits that we used to play, and things that we used to be able to say. I mean, you're losing it, baby. Every single day you're losing your freedoms, even though that may seem very, immaterial, not all that relevant. It's all part of the overall plan. Oh, but it's America, the land of the free. Yeah, the land of the used to be free, to some extent. It's a police state. To sum it up, succinctly, it's a police state, succinctly. 1093 on the poll. We'll have 1100 by the top of the hour. For whatever it's worth. I don't want to, overexert myself on a holiday today, because we probably shouldn't have been here anyway. Almost nobody else is. Just us and Mad Dog in a regular spot today.
Should have run one of those tapes.
Yeah, we should have run some of those tapes that Joe Bell likes, like Alien and the Pope would have been good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's work on that. Start looking for that stuff, Chris. Although we do have the Little Richard spot, the Geico spot. You got that?
Oh, somewhere. As soon as I find it there.
Mashed potatoes, gravy, and cranberry sauce. Woo!
That's all we have.
Oh. Boy, it kind of chops off at the end there, Bill, like they chopped his cranberries
Chris
off
says
at the
you
end.
stepped on it, so it's your
someone kind of walked on his last little thing.
It's just coming up on the end of the first hour today. You're already 0 for 2. What was it he said before that was so grotesque and unacceptable on a very visceral level?
I don't know, but I remember he did something.
Whatever that means. 10:57 at QAM.
Roger Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Don't run, Hillary. No, 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 no. Don't run, Hillary. No, 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 no.
No.
Hillary, you're a bad bitch with legs so massive you made me puke. What's Rupert blowing through your putrid Hillary hole? Hillary, that my friend don't like you. Your snotty bitch attitude. Don't run, Hillary. No, 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 no. Don't run, Hillary. No, 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 no. Hillary, I should tell you that I can smell you across the room. You're an obnoxious butch boss with an attitude. Hillary, Hillary, Democrats don't like you. Your powder baby blue suits, your snotty bitch attitude. No wonder Bill cheats on you.
It's 11:03 at 560 WQAM. Happy Monday, President's Day. Boy, this is one of those really bogus holidays. Back in the day, all you whippersnappers out there, back in the day, February the 12th used to be, I believe, Lincoln's birthday, and February 22nd used to be Washington's birthday, and they used to be like two separate holidays.
Even I remember that.
Wow. Heavy duty. But I don't recall whether we used to whether they were like official holidays, legal, or what the deal was. I mean, I doubt it.
They were like half-ass holidays.
Half-ass?
Sometimes
like
the teacher's work day, they'd do it on, whatever. They didn't take it seriously.
Oh. And then they consolidate them all so we could have like a lot of shopping going on. President's Day sale, I mean, who ever heard of a Lincoln's birthday sale? Or Washington's birthday sale? I guess
did you already have that article about Hardaway spending the day with the gay mayor? Or did you just hear about it?
What do you mean, the one I just read?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, no, I don't have that.
All right.
Better fax it to me. Waste some fax paper. I'll read it
somebody
again.
did.
In fact, you know something? I got a really good idea. In other words, as I was reading it, they were faxing it again.
That's right.
That's South Florida for you. You hear it reverberates. It echoes all the way across Lake Ontario, like on a skip. And 7.4% now say gay people choose that life. The number's going up instead of going down. Well, there are a lot of people out there, I guess, going up instead of going down. Speaking of going down, Tom Brady's former girlfriend pregnant. And let me ask the musical question again. How the hell did that happen? And you're thinking the traditional way.
Right, I imagine.
Well, how come I wasn't there to at least get a bird's eye view?
With the turkey baster?
Yeah. Bridget Moynihan, whose 3-year relationship with Tom Brady ended late last year, is pregnant and says the New England Patriots quarterback is the father.
Oh, my God.
Wow. The New York Post, which first reported the pregnancy yesterday, quoted Moynihan's publicist saying, the 36-year-old actress is more than 3 months pregnant and feeling healthy and excited. The publicist, Christina Papadopoulos, later told U.S. Weekly magazine that Moynihan's former boyfriend, Tom Brady, is the father. Let's have a paternity test. Privacy and consideration is appreciated at this time. No further comments will be made, is what they said. Brady, 29, who's been dating supermodel Gisele Bündchen since shortly after he and Moynihan announced their breakup in mid-December, could not be reached for comment yesterday, and his agent Don Yee did not return a phone call. Don Yee. It would be the first child for both Moynihan and the 2-time Super Bowl MVP. And 3-time Super Bowl winner, I should point that out. Patriots spokesman Stacey James said yesterday he hadn't spoken to Brady, and the team doesn't typically comment on private matters, on his privates. Well, why the hell not? The only way I do that is if someone asks me to speak on their behalf, and that hasn't happened in this case, James said. Stacey James. A former model best known for her role opposite Will Smith in the science fiction thriller I, Robot, Moynihan had made no secret of her desires to start a family. I, Robot, should I see that or not?
No.
I'm just joking. I'd rather watch I Saw Who You Did Last Summer again with Ryan Philippe. Asked last fall what she would like to be doing in 5 years, the actress who grew up in Longmeadow replied, are you cracking your knuckles again?
Yes.
Definitely marriage and kids, she said. Not necessarily in that order, obviously. Although the breakup with Brady was said to be amicable, there were tabloid reports that Moynihan had become depressed and lost weight. Oh, no. Last week, the statuesque actress, who stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, looked healthy at the New York premiere of her new film, Gray Matters. Photographed at the premiere with model Marcus Schenkenberg, Moynihan is getting good notices for the movie, in which she plays a lesbian and shares a steamy on-screen kiss with her co-star, Heather Graham.
Oh, wow.
Oh, brother.
Oh, my God.
Gray Matters. I think it's called Gay Matters. See how this homosexual agenda is starting to infiltrate all of America, all of our culture now? All this dyke business going on? All these lesbians?
Yeah, but we don't mind that.
I know that. No, the lesbian stuff is okay. Guys are really all whipped up to a frenzy about that. To a fanatical frenzy. But the guys, that's another story, especially in the locker room. Brady, meanwhile, hasn't missed a beat, it says. Just before Christmas, the star quarterback began romancing Bunchen, the 26-year-old Brazilian beauty, whose former boyfriends include actor Leo DiCaprio and surfer Kelly Slater, who was boyfriending, what's her name? Pamela Lee. Remember?
No.
Brady and Bunchen have been photographed coming and going from Victoria's Secret model Soho apartment building, and Brady's reported to have given Bunchen a pair of diamond earrings for Valentine's Day. How do you like that? Over the weekend, according to People magazine, the couple was in Paris. They attended the Académie du Spectacle horse show at Versailles Saturday, and then dined at Café de la Paix, which is apparently Bunchen's favorite restaurant in Paris. Café de la Paix, P-A-I-X. The French stuff leaves me limp. I have no idea how to pronounce it, what it means, how to say it. I don't want to know.
Oui.
You say oui?
That's what I said.
The quarterback, I'm talking about Tom Brady. Don't be saying oui. The quarterback who threw a last-minute interception against the Colts that ended the Patriots season was in Boston last week testifying in Charlie Weiss's malpractice suit. Weiss, former offensive coordinator for the Patriots and now head coach at Notre Dame, is suing two doctors from Massachusetts General Hospital, contending their negligence after his gastric bypass surgery nearly killed him. Charlie Weiss, who's the coach at Notre Dame, is obviously taking showers with Brady Quinn naked. The possibility that Tom Brady might become a father came as a surprise to some of his fans yesterday. They didn't know he had it in him, I guess. At Champion Sports Bar in Copley Square, where a crowd was gathered to watch the NBA All-Star Game, Kirsten Grudzinski said she was curious to know when Brady learned that Moynihan was pregnant. I thought he was an upstanding guy, said Grudzinski, 44, who lives in Barre, Massachusetts. I'm really shocked. If he didn't know, what can he do? But if he did, that tarnishes his image as the golden boy. And why is that? Why does that tarnish his image? Grudzinski's husband countered that Brady would do the right thing for his former girlfriend. If he doesn't accept responsibility, that would be even more unbelievable. Mike Grudzinski said, finishing his beer. John Stanton, visiting from Southington, Connecticut, said Brady's potential paternity could change people's perception of the All-Pro. Oh, jeez. From the things I've read about him, I'm really surprised, said Stanton, after hearing about Moynihan's pregnancy. I've always seen Brady as a clean-cut young man. Now that, you know something? That just amuses the hell out of me. What does that mean? I've always seen him as a clean-cut young man. So in other words, he's not doing no hanky-spanky. He's not getting laid, the guy that looks like that and has got that kind of money, and he's got everybody pawing and clawing after his bones.
That's right. He just goes to church. That's all he does.
I have always seen Brady as a clean-cut young man, and now it looks like he got this chick knocked up. Oh, my God. I can't respect that. For a time, it appeared that Brady and Moynihan might settle down together. Last fall, after the actress moved to New York to tape the ABC series 6 Degrees, Brady bought a plush condo in the city, paying $14.5 million for a 7-room unit on the 70th floor of the Time Warner building. But the relationship ended, and Brady decided he no longer needed the apartment, which features 12-foot ceilings and stunning views of Central Park. It's currently on the market for $16.5 million. Given that the couple had been together nearly 3 years, Randy Gomez, who lives on Cape Cod, said he expected Moynihan's pregnancy before now. It'll be a beautiful child, Gomez said. It has genetics in its favor. Oh, yeah, it's got good genes, man. Can you imagine what that kid's going to look like? But what does this have to do with Brittany shaving her head?
That's right. And she's
with
got
that power
ugly
saw.
Skull.
Christ. You know something? Now that she got rid of Kevin Feeder line and hook, now she can get married to that Perper guy. Who? The medical...
that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Think of the kids they'll have. They'll all be pumpkin heads.
Maybe between the two of them they could have like one head.
At least now she matches.
1,128 votes on the poll. Gay people are born that way, 538. Are fine with me, 277. Choose that life, 84, 7.4%. Really incredibly ignorant people. Gay people love Tim Hardaway, 63. Gay people want me, 44. I hate this pool, 38, 3.3%. Gay people are all flamers, 28. Screaming, mincing fags with them little clone mustaches, baby. Like in San Francisco. Gay people wish they were straight, 21. Are easy to spot, 18. And scare me, 17. I'm a scared, mommy. I'm a scared. There's a maricon over there on the street corner. He's going to come and get my ass. And then maybe later he'll come back and get the rest. Yeah, but that's Father O'Toole, man. 12 minutes after 11 at 560 WQAM. Hey, all you horse racing and poker fans.
A lollipop, little boy?
Now, Inside Edition.
The death of Anna Nicole Smith has left some messy and very complicated legal battles. You know what, honestly, I don't know where to start. This paternity issue is getting crazy.
We now have someone else stepping up saying, I could be the father.
Hell, Gore, you and Ed and Nicole.
You know, I've been there and done that.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
How many times?
Over and over again. It's too difficult to count them.
Where was your favorite place to have sex?
In the end.
Where?
Behind.
No, what geographical location?
In a Winnebago with her poodle.
Inky. I heard you can get into the upside-down atomic wedgie position.
It's not a new position for me.
Wow, you're a freak.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh. Al, put that thing away.
Oh.
Inside Edition. We'll be right back.
Oh, my God.
Exactly. 11:17 at 560 WQAM. Okay, let's see if Chris can name the first 10 presidents of the U.S. If you went into a shopping mall, like in Dadeland or in, well, Dadeland's not a good example. In, like, the Broward Mall or in, well, Sawgrass wouldn't be a good... Where's a shopping mall where anybody speaks English? Oh, there aren't any?
No.
But if you went into, like, your average street corner and you asked somebody, name the first 10 presidents of the U.S. in order. Okay, Chris, let's hear it.
Washington.
Yeah.
Washington. Lincoln.
Wait a minute. What?
I have no idea who the first 10 presidents are. After Washington, I don't know what order they go in.
Lincoln? What happened to the other 14 in between? Lincoln was 16. Anyway. See, I put him on the spot. That was very bad. But now, even for whatever the two gross things were that you said on the air earlier today, I don't remember what they were, but I think he deserved it, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
George, first 10 presidents.
Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe,
what
Adams,
a cheater!
Jackson, Van Buren.
Wait a minute, you're looking at... are you cheating?
Of course I am.
Oh, my God.
Look, I already said, once upon a time...
What a clown.
I know. I used to know them all in order.
Clown.
The teacher...
I'm only looking at top 10, man.
Listen, the civics teacher said you can get out of final exams if you can name all the presidents. So I learned them long enough to recite them to get out of the final exams and then immediately purged that useless information from my mind.
I'm sure of that. Yeah, it is useless. In honor of President's Day today, here's a pop quiz. This is typical, par for the course. You know, I wish they were still doing those surveys with those geography things, where they go like to U of M, and they ask kids to find their hometown on the map or to find the state of Florida on the map, and like always some gigantic, embarrassing percentage can't even find the state of Florida. I mean, here the state of Florida is hanging down there into the Caribbean like this gigantic peninsula, and they can't find it. And kids from New York, I mean, how difficult could it be to find New York City with Long Island sitting out there, huh?
Yeah.
How hard could that be?
Very hard, apparently.
I guess. In honor of President's Day today, here's a pop quiz, says the Herald. How did President Kennedy respond to the Cuban Missile Crisis? Don't know. Neither did a third of the seniors at Yale, according to a recent study.
Blockade.
You know, where the hell did I see it last night? I saw a very scary and interesting show about that last night, and the fact that his military advisors were telling him to, like, bomb Cuba.
Yeah, we were on the brink.
Because they weren't aware of the fact that the nukes were, they were all fired up and ready to go, and if he would have done that, we would have had nuclear war, and it would have been the end of all of us.
That's right.
And a lot of you punks out there wouldn't be here today. That was 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis. That was 45 years ago. 45 freaking years ago. I was living in Boston at the time, and I remember there were a lot of people saying, oh, we're all going to be dead tomorrow. Too many American college students lack basic knowledge about our nation's leaders, according to a study by University of Connecticut. The average score among seniors on questions related to the presidents was less than 60%, according to Intercollegiate Studies Institute, a Delaware nonprofit that sponsored the study. By most measures, that's an F. F. As in failure. As in effing idiot. People may know the latest handbag that Paris Hilton was wearing, but they don't know the last couple of presidents, said Jeff Resnicek, 28, a history major at Berry University in Miami Shores. Resnicek was among 14 juniors and seniors at Berry who answered sample questions from the study last week at the request of a reporter. Only 3 missed the Kennedy question on a multiple-choice test. The rest correctly responded that in 1962, when photos taken from a spy plane proved the Soviets were installing nuclear missiles in Cuba, Kennedy organized a naval blockade that cut off military supplies and forced Khrushchev and the Soviets to blink. They turned the ships around, and they went back home. Good thinking, Nikita. It says, okay, maybe Florida's proximity to the island nation gives students here a leg up on questions about Cuba, and while they did better overall than their peers nationwide, there were plenty of questions they didn't answer correctly. One question, I beg your pardon?
I said such as.
One question that stumped many I can't believe you were cheating on that thing with the president. That is so embarrassing.
That's the kind of slimy guy I am.
For a genius like you, somebody that everybody says, oh, that George knows so much useless, but very good information.
Right. Not that much useless information.
Wow. One question that stumped many test takers asked about the oft-cited American concept of the separation of church and state. Was it enshrined in the Mayflower Compact, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence? None of the above. It stems from letters of Thomas Jefferson.
I knew that.
These results are especially disturbing as we celebrate President's Day, said Mike Ratliff, Senior Vice President of Intercollegiate Studies Institute. See, there's only a little bit of phlegm in there. I'm basically over this cold, A cold lasts like a week, 10 days, whatever. And it's basically gone, but there's like a little bit of that really dark green puce stuff down there, way down in the bowels of my life.
Well, puce it up.
Ooh, look at that. Nasty. Many Americans will spend today's holiday picnicking and shopping the sales without a thought about the leaders who shape the democracy that makes our freedom possible. Oh, yeah, all you people out there, I want you to sit down there like the thinker.
Have a moment of silent meditation.
You know that statue, the thinker? Mm-hmm. He's sitting there with his hand resting on his head in his hand,
Rodin.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, I told you George knew a lot of useless stuff. I'm not into art at all. I know nothing about art. I don't know.
You know more than you need to know about
Picasso,
art.
From
more than you need to know.
What do you mean by that?
In other words, when you look at something, let's say a piece of art, do you know if it looks good or not to you?
I know that when Andy Warhol painted a Coke can, there wasn't any art to me.
Well, then you're a genius. You're a freaking art genius.
I thought he was supposed to be the genius.
Well, guess again.
We live in a democratic republic, and America is an achievement in its culture, its order, its justice, its prosperity, and finance, said Gary Scott, a senior research fellow at the nonpartisan ISI. These are achievements, but they're not automatic. To preserve them, you have to know what the nature of the achievement is and how we got there, he said. Berry history professor Tim Smith says he's noticed a lack of historical knowledge among new students. Sometimes I feel like I'm working with a blank slate, he said. Kind of like working at QAM with a blank slate. At least one Berry student blames the Florida Comprehensive Assessment Test, the FCAT, which does not include a history section. With this whole FCAT, public school is so muddled down with standardized testing, there's no room to learn the subject, said Walter Cole, 22, a senior political science major. But Ratliff says student knowledge doesn't improve much after their sneakers hit the campus. I bet you they know what kind of sneakers they're wearing now.
Adidas.
Most students enter college with little knowledge about America's presidents, and unfortunately they leave college with virtually no gain in knowledge about the individuals who have led our nation, Ratliff said. Charday Wallace, 21, is a pre-law major at Berry, said she's had plenty of U.S. history courses. I think that U.S. history is being taught, but the question is, will I remember? For the study, about 14,000 students from 50 U.S. colleges were asked 60 multiple-choice questions about U.S. history and institutions. 10 dealt with U.S. presidents specifically. Freshmen scored an average of 57.2%. That's bad. Seniors with 3 years of study under their belt scored less than a half point higher, 57.6%, demonstrating the kind of flat learning curve that gives college professors headaches. Unfortunately, no more knowledge is gained from the 4 years of college, said Scott, who believes that much of the current university curriculum is incoherent. He advocates better courses with highly trained professors of U.S. history and more homework. Gregory Bush, director of the Institute for Public History at the University of Miami, agrees that knowledge of American history today is pretty pathetic. Pathetic! Calling for more teacher training, he said students from the MTV generation who are used to quick information bites and flashy graphics will not be engaged by lectures. Bush suggests team projects or even creating video documentaries to keep students' attention. So many people think history is a series of facts, dates, and names that they need to regurgitate for a test, he said. He's an associate professor at UM. Much of history is debatable, and that's good, he said. I wonder what they teach in school about the war in Vietnam, and about the 58,000 kids who came home in body bags, and about the lies that Johnson and Nixon and Kissinger told. I wonder what they teach about that.
Nothing.
See, it's not just a question of teaching history, it's a question of teaching, like, warped history, propaganda. Propaganda.
You remember that Korean War?
Yeah.
Nobody else does.
Oh. Worked really well, didn't it? Just like the war in Vietnam worked really well, just like the Iraq attack is working real well. And just like all the Israeli-Arab conflicts have worked real well. 1,163 votes on the poll.
The U.S. USA caught me in my spider hole. Now they turn me over to Iraqi control. But if the Americans don't keep me safe, pretty soon there's gonna be one more grave in Iraq. Yeah, here in Iraq. As soon as they put me in the dock, I will croak in the jailhouse Iraq. My people can hardly wait to make me pay, just like they did with Hussein Hussein. Only one way to triumph over my foes. Call Johnny Cochran or Mark Garagos to Iraq. Yeah, they come to Iraq. In my cell, I'm going to stay locked till they get to the jailhouse Iraq. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can cop a plea. Maybe I can even plead insanity. I must have been crazy to get into this war. It's like trying to steal donut from Michael Moore, Iraq. Yeah, here in Iraq. My head will soon be on the block, and I will die in the jailhouse Iraq. Die in the jailhouse Iraq. Cry in the jailhouse
11:32, that's why this crap is going on, man, because we have an educated public out there. Like that. And the media, of course, are willing co-conspirators, willing participants, and willing facilitators.
Right.
Very enthusiastic in helping all the creeping fascism take over all of your liberties and in poisoning the well with all the stupid crap. That's what we're supposed to care about, is Anna Nicole. What's the story, man, with Howard K. Smith? Anna Nicole's body and baby and all that other crap. Any interest?
No.
Not by me.
No.
Of course, I read the stories on the air because that's what the public's interested in, right?
That's right.
You got to give them what they want.
That's it.
Don't be reading anything newsy or anything too intellectual on the air, Neil, because that isn't what's going to get you any numbers, man. Yeah, I guess so. 31 years. Now, do you think that the celebration, I mean, obviously that's not much of a number, 31. It's a bizarre number.
Mm-hmm.
Not exciting like last year when it was the 30th anniversary on a year in South Florida. Like
about 30, man.
And look at what they did last year, man. It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it?
Huge party. I'm still recovering from it.
Balloons, party favors, banners, billboards. Sky's the limit, man. What are they going to give me this year? Besides a headache. A headache and Surus.
Purple
No,
jelly.
they're okay. They're okay. Everything is copacetic.
Okay.
Hunky-dory, yeah. I think we might take some calls this hour if we ever got any. But it's a holiday. People are out there shopping for the President's Day sales. Zachary Taylor, man, there's a guy. You know where I get confused?
Where?
Always. And I'm not cheating. I mean, I could do that easily, but I'm not cheating. But after you get to John Tyler, who was number 10, and then Zachary Taylor was 10, I always confuse Millard Fillmore and James Knox Polk, 11 and 13. I don't know why.
Yeah, I do too.
Did they look similar?
Yeah, you do too. Yeah, you. This is the guy that told us that Abe Lincoln was our second president, and he's telling us he gets confused James Knox Polk and Millard Fillmore. How about Polk Salad Annie?
Okay.
Now, let's see. I mean, I would only be guessing. I think Millard Fillmore was 11 and James Knox Polk 13. I always get it wrong. Is that correct?
I already closed that page. You make me go back there?
Oh, see, when I need you to give me the information, you're busy cheating and you're not doing it off the top of your head. Millard Fillmore, 11 or 13.
One moment, please.
Oh!
I'm sorting by date.
Oh! Is this rocket science? And, of course, it doesn't make it. It's just memory of a bunch of names. It's just, what does it mean? It's like memorizing numbers. Yeah.
13. 13! Millard Fillmore's 13.
Was Millard Fillmore, then James Knox Polk was 11. Got it?
Right.
I wish there was an easy way for me to remember that, like word association or something, or like poke yourself. Maybe that's the way to do it. Poke yourself in the noggin or something, Neil. You idiot.
Poke
you
Taylor.
Idiot.
You fell.
Yeah.
Poke
Millard
Taylor.
Fillmore was after Zachary Taylor. And then Franklin Pearson, James Buchanan, A.B. Lincoln. Now, which one was supposed to be Franklin Pierce or James Buchanan? One of them or maybe both. That was the rumor.
You tell me. You keep
I mean, that's not possible. That would be like having a governor of Florida that's gay. That couldn't possibly be.
That makes you not qualified, doesn't it?
7.3% of the audience says that gay people choose to be that way. You know the interesting part of the Hardaway thing that I haven't mentioned, and not too many other people have probably either.
What's that?
And that is that how can you hate gay people when you don't know who most of them are? My best guess is that 95%, I'm just picking a number, I don't know. What would you say? At least 90% of gay people are still in the closet in the U.S.?
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm not asking whether it's fair. I'm just asking whether it's accurate.
That sounds accurate. More than half. How's that?
Okay,
well,
a lot more
over
than
half.
Sure. Let's put it this way. The overwhelming majority of gay people in America are in the closet. They're not out. So it's not like they have a label on their forehead or they're walking around with like mincing and swishing and like, hey, hi,
at least like 3 out of 4. At least.
Okay, 75% now we're up to. Okay, Georgie started like with 50, now he's up to 75%. That being the case, how do you know you hate gay people when you don't know who most of them are?
Well, you hate them as you become aware.
I see.
Like
it's
you
just
love,
a rhetorical
I hate you.
question. WQAM, hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Little deal I've been thinking about since this whole Tim Hardaway ignorance stuff came out. I'm thinking since, the whole argument now with, it's the last thing they have to grab onto, per se, all the ignorance of the locker room and, the playing on the court and all that good stuff. I'm wondering if I wanted to ask these people, if you happen to suffer from, say, prostate problems, you have a history of that, or your wife, your girlfriend, your mother, your sister happens to suffer
from prostate problems? Yeah.
And the world's best expert in the world happens to be gay. Would you go to this person or not? I mean, the whole thing is so stupid. Who cares? Why does anybody have to feel threatened
exactly?
about that?
How does it affect a person? What kind of how does it change the kind of person they are, who they're sleeping with or having sex with? How does that change them? What effect does that have on how they react to you?
Because God hates them.
Again, it's just the ignorance thing. They're going to grab me. They're going to have something to do with me. It's ridiculous. But anyway.
And when's the last time we heard of any male athlete getting molested or raped by some other male athlete in the locker room? I never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either. So, I'm sure like Greg Lamont, asked his doctors as he was suffering from testicular cancer, hey, doc, are you gay?
Are you a fag?
Man. So anyways, just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, for all the proctologists listening, thank you.
There you go. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Well, I don't know if we have any proctologists. We have a lot of a-holes, I know that. 1,178 votes on the poll. We're going to make, I think, 1,300 today. Easy. Of course, we started out with a big, with a big jump, with a big edge. WQAM, hello. QAM.
George,
Okay, you're trying to take a little extra breath there. That's why I was slow today. George is...
Yeah. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, I don't know why you're surprised about 7.3% of the audience saying what was the poll today about the gays?
Gay people are, and then they say choose that life.
Well, 7.3% of your audience was Republican, and the reason you had, so...
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
That's right. And
well, at least they may not be good, but at least they're consistent. That's a good point.
Absolutely. And then you're going to be mad at me. Before I let you go, I voted that I use soap, but I am a male that uses body wash.
Now, wait a minute. Run that by me again. You did what?
I voted as a male that used soap.
In other words, you did that just to aggravate me? Is that it?
He's in the closet.
I wanted to see you have a conniption on the air.
All right. Now, listen, let me ask you something. Are you and I going to be taking any showers anytime soon?
No, but it's...
together? I mean, hopefully individually, but I don't think you and I are going to be taking any showers soon, so I don't care whether you use soap, body wash, meal, I don't care what you use.
Well, I think it's more entertaining when you're going off.
Okay, thanks for the aggravation, pal.
Bye, buddy.
See ya.
So he just wanted to get you off.
He sounded like a guy might want to take a shower with. What's wrong with that?
I'll tell him to send a picture.
Don't send a picture. See, sometimes sending a picture is not a good idea. Just let me visualize, that he looked just like Brady Quinn on a good day. Or maybe like Ryan Philippe. I'd take a shower with Ryan Philippe in a heartbeat. With the soap or the body wash. Although it seems to me the body wash should be much more romantic. You smear that all over somebody's body in the shower. I mean, soap in the shower? Well, I mean, and of course everybody keeps dropping it. You know that. And don't tell me that some of you soap guys don't use it because that's what you like.
The biggest names.
Oh, I'll get
best
it.
Talent.
Three-way spigot part 2.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Hi, this is G. Gordon Liddy, and they don't come any worse than Neil Rogers.
Learned about that house doubt. Listen. Chances are I
Hello.
Water's warm, huh?
I'll say.
You come here often?
Pardon me?
Have you been here before?
No, first time.
Oh. What's your name?
Freeway.
Freeway, that's nice. I'm Spigot.
Pleased to meet you, Spigot.
Same here. You here to get clean or what?
Oh, I don't know.
You work around here?
I'm a waiter, but actually I'm an actor, you know.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's tough, isn't it? You probably need to relax.
Oh, I'll say, but, you know, with everything that's in the news and all, it's just...
Hey, you can start relaxing right now, Freeway. I brought something.
Ooh,
sheath. And Freeway, not just any sheath either. Look.
Wow, gold lame.
Pretty kicky condom, huh? But here's the most important part, Freeway. The Protect label.
Protect, huh? Aren't those endorsed
by the City Council of San Francisco? Absolutely. You know the Protect slogan, don't you?
I sure do.
Certified safe by the city by the bay. Well, what do you say?
Darn, look at that. I dropped the soap again.
Oh.
I'll get it.
You bet your life he will. And with confidence, because Freeway and Spigot have condom sense. Don't let worry spoil those chance meetings and public showers. Always carry Protect.
Protect. Keep my mind free as can be. Protect. Been down with no apology.
Don't doubt. Know what it's all about. The Protect sheath, so they won't send you a wreath. Protect Condoms, a division of Black Flag House and Garden Pest Control Division, keeping situations safe since 1887.
Yeah, I think that what we ought to start doing to bond with the audience a little bit better is start making some selections and start taking showers with members of the audience. What do you say?
All right.
Huh? What's wrong with that?
Nothing at all.
I mean, if all these athletes can take showers naked together and nobody even questions that for a moment, why the hell can't just regular, ordinary pedestrian people go in? You know, like having a communal shower kind of place, like a bathhouse.
Okay.
Well, a bathhouse sounds awfully
gay.
Yeah. Doesn't it? Prince Harry is in Iraq. You ready for that?
He's in the raps?
He's in Iraq. Oh, look at that. Man, chocolate. Kind of like New Orleans. The British police protection officer responsible for Prince Harry has flown to Iraq to begin making security arrangements for the royal soldier's deployment to Iraq amid fears for his safety, according to British press reports. Wouldn't that be something if they blew his ass up in Iraq and then the British might actually invade Iraq? Oh, that's right, they already did. Sorry. The Daily Mail newspaper claimed the prince is already referred to as a bullet magnet.
Really?
By fellow soldiers as his Blues and Royals regiment prepares for an anticipated 6-month tour of Iraq. They're going on a tour, you know, like a tour of the museums and a tour of Buckingham Palace. They're going on a tour. Wow. He's a bullet magnet. And, of course, you know how I feel about the royal family.
Right.
As they say in Sweden, Hubmindred. Oh, look at this from University Dodge. You know, these people over there, I sure hope they start selling some cars pretty soon over there because they obviously don't have much work going on. It's another gay pool from one of Kim Bokamper's boyfriends over there at University Dodge. Every single day, and not that I'm knocking polls, but it's another gay pool. I don't want to do this right away. Too many gay polls lately.
You're going to space them out?
You'd think this was kind of a show or something, huh?
Yeah, space them out.
This is kind of interesting, though.
It is.
Poll is, if I found out that my best friend was gay, I would end the friendship immediately, support him as he comes out of the closet, remain his friend but request that he doesn't tell anyone else he's gay, try homosexuality myself. I guess it depends on what your best friend looks like.
You can't join him, beat him.
Try to change him, or I hate this gay pool. Or maybe I just hate his pool. Well, whatever. How do you like that? That's not a bad pool, but like I said, too many gay pools spoils the pudding. Isn't that the way it goes?
Right.
Isn't that what the Brits say?
Yeah.
The Brits and that great cuisine, you know, that whole royal family, man, they give me constipation just thinking about them. They bind up my system. Gay people are born that way. 574. We got 1,203 votes. I should have mentioned we passed the 1,200 barrier. Wow, what a feather in my cap. Of course, I don't wear a cap. I wear a toque.
Yeah.
There are some people who wear caps here, but generally speaking, this time of the year, you got to have a toque. If you don't have a toque, you go out there and puke.
You ever see people wearing those big fur Russian hats out there?
Sure.
Wow.
Like a babushka.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I just think they look funny.
Wait a minute, what show is this that I'm watching?
It's like they have a cupcake on their head.
What is this show I'm watching with all these people diving naked into the water and doing stuff like that?
I don't know. What are you
Travel
watching?
and Escape. Oh, wherever that scene was just now, I'll travel there and just try to escape. Gay people are born that way, 576. You see, there he goes again, promoting all of that filth and sexual hanky-spanky on the air. He's bad. That's right, I'd be bad. Gay people are fine with me, 301. So if you put those two together, you got 72.6%. Choose that life, 88, 7.2%. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the day. What was the poll? Oh, about what I wear when I'm doing the show, and I told them boxer shorts only. Right. And they still kept voting for all these other choices on there. Came in a very weak third.
But did they answer the question they want to answer?
They answer it, in other words, don't confuse them with the facts,
Right.
okay? This is our opinion, and take it or leave it.
They're voting for what they think you should
Like
be
the guy
wearing.
that called a minute ago and said he uses body wash, but he voted for soap to aggravate me. Do you think it really aggravates me? Whether it's the same thing as whether people are gay or not. How does that affect my life? How does it affect me whether you guys are using body wash or soap? How does that affect me?
Every time you reach for the body wash, you wince and you squirm.
No, I do
Knowing
not. In
that
fact,
so many
you know what I
people-
got?
What?
I got the St. Ives apricot again.
That's my favorite. That's what I'm using
With
right
the
now.
bead- With those gritty beads in it, whatever the hell you call those things.
Flavor crystals.
Mmm. Oh, Jesus, what did I just miss? There's something really good. Damn you! Oh, no! I missed something really incredible on there on CNN just a second ago, and just as I turned, they were changing the picture. I wish I had see on my other set, on my HD set, you can, like, rewind it, because it's always doing the PVR thing.
Right.
And you can see it over again. But not on this stupid little Citizen TV that must have cost Bob Vermouth about $15. Damn it! That was something really, really good. Anyway, gay people are fine with me, 301. Choose that life, 88. Right. Love Tim Hardaway, 69. Yeah, we all love him. We're going to go out there, down there and get it washed. We're going right down in the car, too. Gay people want me, 44.
They want you.
Badly. Gay people, I hate this poll, 3.2%, 40. Gay people are all flamers, 31. Wish they were straight, 22. That would be like saying, how many straight people wish they were gay, you know? Who ever heard of such a thing? Yeah. Gay people are easy to spot, 20, and they scare me, 17 out of 1,215 votes. Boy, you made me miss something really... Well, you didn't do it.
The show gets in the way of some good TV watching.
Yeah, this show interfered with my seeing something really good on there, some really good flesh. WQAM, hello.
Neil, you did run from the cops, and they chased you.
Yeah. Run for your life, Pally.
Yeah, sure I did. WQAM, hello.
Neil, over the weekend I was dragged into the QAM office. Smelled like Mad Dog. Get it?
WQAM, hello. Okay, they're getting good now, man. I told you it's a holiday. Don't expect too much. 56705 boy, sounded like he was in pain on the way out that time, didn't it?
No, we're in pain.
To which I could only say,
all right.
Yeah, if he was. Like in super heavy-duty pain. 5670560. Pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. Come on, let's go. Paper or plastic, soap or body wash, normal or spastic. That's our poll today. I love the people that call up and say, well, I got one for the poll here. Yeah, let's build a poll. Not. Well, we haven't done that in a long time, and you know what? I'm really pleased about that. I hated that.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you hate that?
Yeah, not enough.
Every call was the same. I got one for the poll. Well, good for you. Congratulations. Okay, in other words, that's all you got? That's all you have to say? That's your life? That's your entire brain process, your thought process coming forth to the audience out there as you got some name that you want to spew on the air for the poll? Good golly, Miss Molly. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, the St. Ives is the cheap stuff. The best body wash there is VITA Bath, Vitabath, the best.
What do you mean it's the cheap stuff? What does that mean?
Well, St. Ives, come on. I mean, it's like using SWAT.
Okay, but you use what you want to use, not use what I want to use. You know, that's like saying, boy, anybody that would eat like that low-carb pasta, you should go to like some fancy gourmet Italian restaurant and get real pasta and have your blood sugar go up to like 500.
Good to know it's the cheap stuff. If I found something cheaper, I'd use that.
That's right. That's why George likes it, because it's not only good, but it's also the cheap stuff. Oh, you don't really use cheap body wash. A guy that's making the kind of money you are, Neil, you're using cheap body wash? What are you, some kind of a cheap Jew?
We make our own in the tub.
WQAM, hello.
Oh, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Hi. I'd like to speak with Neil, please.
Speaking, please.
Yes, hi, Neil. Two things. Number one, there's a very simple way to understand how to memorize the different presidents' names. One is to live in the city of Hollywood,
because all the streets are named after the presidents, right?
Not all.
Just drive up and down the street there, up and down 441.
Well, I think George lives in Hollywood, right?
Yes, he does, but he lives over by 95. He ain't living by any of the presidents.
They're not all named after presidents.
Right.
No, the President Sheridan?
No, but
that's the area of Hollywood where they're named after characters from Passions, where Sheridan Street is.
The second thing I had, and it's been a mystery to me over the years, especially as a Panthers season ticket holder, and forgive me for boring your audience, but what is it that... But I'm curious as to what it is about the sport of hockey that locals, particularly sports personalities, if I can use that word liberally, find so reprehensible about the sport. It has action. It has
it's called ignorance. It's stupidity. It's the greatest sport in the world, and in South Florida, you got people, all they know is football. That's all they know. And occasionally basketball, if the Heat are like last year, won a championship. It's a front-running, phony town.
That is correct.
It seems to be, and unfortunately...
And you'll recall the year that the Panthers went to the Stanley Cup Finals, everybody was a Panther fan, everybody had the flags in the car, everybody was throwing the rats. It's a total phony baloney crowd. Saturday night at the Air Canada Center, they had a ceremony, because the Leafs, of course, are a franchise like the Dolphins that are living in the past. 40 years ago, the last time the Leafs won the Stanley Cup in 1967, and they had all the living members of the 67 team there. And it was an emotional thing, and boy, they sure know how to do it upright. And if you could have seen the enthusiasm of that crowd, and most of those people weren't even born when that Stanley Cup was won, and the enthusiasm, and they knew the names of the players, Johnny Bauer, Dave Keon, Frank Mahovlich, Alan Stanley, yada, yada, and it was great. These are people with a passion. South Florida is a place with no passion. It's as sterile as the inside of a Band-Aid box.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Morgan, it's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
What's this obsession with Hokie?
Who will Rosie O'Donnell attack next? Find out on The View.
The Pope. Don't get me started. Do us a favor and drive the Pope mobile under a low bridge.
First, it was Trump, the Idol judges, and Oprah. Now, who else is on her diss list?
What's with Bono and the debt relief? Pay your bills, you cheap Irishman.
Rosie is relentless.
Billy Graham, die already. If you're so close to God, go pay him a visit, will you?
And when she's done trashing the living, she'll go after the dead.
Princess Diana, you don't wear a seatbelt, you get what you deserve.
How low will Rosie go? Find out on The View.
Mother Teresa. I mean, I know she's dead and everything, but what a wench.
16 seconds as Smith shoots that puck into the lead zone. It goes to the far wing to Ullman. Ullman is checked by Pitcher. He's got a breakaway. 5 seconds. Going ready on goal. He's in goal.
It's sure not nearly as exciting as watching the Dolphins lose 9 or 10 games every year, but then again, what could possibly be?
What is?
Hockey?
That's right.
Just, what?
What could be more exciting than that?
What could be more thrilling than watching what passes for sport in South Florida? And again, one-dimensional people, man, that's all they know from. What's the latest bandwagon to jump on? Phony baloney. That's very sad. But, and of course, I remember the one thing I'll never forgetting about that whole phony year, that they were totally plastic just like the rats. Phony baloney. But I come back from a vacation of Europe, one of my 8,000 vacations, and I had read in USA Today that this is like, we were still down on, it must have been our first year at QAM, first few months. Yeah, it was, because it was in the wintertime. Remember we started December 30?
Yes.
And the Panthers had just made the trade and gotten Pavel Bure, who, for my money at that time, was the best player in the world. And I read that in the USA Today, and I was so excited, I was like screaming and yelling and jumping up and down and spazzing and drooling all over myself, kind of like usual. And I mentioned it on the air. I was like, what? Who's that? What is that? So, I have to temper my emotions about 31 years on the air in this town a week from Thursday, because what does it really mean, other than the fact I made a few bucks? What does it really mean?
That? You made a few bucks?
That I'm a survivor. That I've survived 31 years fighting uphill, Like the guy who calls to tell me that he voted for soap on the poll to aggravate me. He was a good guy and everything, and maybe I would like to take a shower with him. I don't know. He sounded nice. But at any rate, he calls to tell me that just to aggravate me, even though he uses body wash. How many body wash closet people do you think are out there? I bet you a lot.
I bet.
Because they probably figure we're tracing their IP address or something when they vote on the poll. Oh, speaking of tracing IP address, you know who our number one visitor to our website is? To our MySpace? By the way, we have 1,209 members of MySpace, 1,209 friends. Yeah, is number one. And so I did a little IP trace. I've been checking that a little more thoroughly and going through a little more. And part of where that goes is through Coral Gables. You think, isn't that interesting? Yeah. Who's on there like every 5 minutes all over our website like Stink on Joyce.
Sounds oppressive and gay to me.
Somebody very, very desperately in need of a life. 1,238 votes on the poll. We got 13 lit, Chris. Okay, we probably should have taken the day off today,
Yeah, I agree. We could have ran ESPN radio.
That would have been really good from 10 to 2.
That's even
I mean,
better
we had Geldy
than
this morning. Who I also, a little bit too much Geldy for me in 48 hours. Hearing his voice on there with Denise Potvin, boy, you talk about...
Neil Rogers.
Yeah, I bet you would. Like Mo said, I can't even believe he's got children. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. It's one of the few things Mo ever said that I would agree with.
But he's one to talk.
Now, what does that mean?
I don't know. What does that mean, Chris?
Yeah, what does that mean, Chris? Is there something we should know about Mo, Mr. Dingleberry?
I mean, I don't know if he, is one of your people, but, he's not exactly one of the greatest people to ever meet. So the fact that he found a wife is kind of a pretty good thing.
And the fact that she actually had relations with him at one point, at some point?
Did she?
The fact that they actually did the old nasty, the old salami deal? Wow.
This is better than sex.
Well, I'm sure. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes.
It's Duran.
Boy, you don't even give me a chance.
Nah, when it's him, no.
Oh. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hey, Neil, how you doing, man?
Okay, sir.
I was listening and I heard, and I just heard you could trace the IP address of MySpace. Can you tell me how you do that?
Oh, no, I can't tell you. It's an ancient Chinese secret. It's like that dishwashing thing. It's an ancient Chinese secret. If I have to tell you how to trace an IP address, man, and you just really, how about Googling it? Go on your computer, okay? And put in there, trace IP address free. Because God forbid that anybody should have to pay for it. And, a lot of that stuff on there is such a ripoff. Are you aware of that?
Oh, yeah.
That whole deal about tracing people's this and that and their, ass size and shoe size. It's just, a lot of that is cool.
I have a general rule that I apply. If I see it on the Internet, I presume that it's a ripoff until I have a reason to think otherwise.
I see. I thought your rule of thumb was going to be if it costs money, you can't afford it.
That, too. I always apply that.
1,247 votes on the poll. We could have had 14 today if Josh Cordes was there today cheering from the sidelines. He was pretty good on Friday. What the hell got into him? He was very animated. I think it's because he and I love each other so much.
That must be it.
Oh, and guess what?
What?
Guess what's going to be there Wednesday, speaking of Josh Cordes? His
flavor waiver.
Brand new one. Yeah.
Flavor waiver.
His brand new one that I forked out $100 because I'm such a swell and great guy, because I'm a legendary. I hope you tell everybody that I'm a great guy. Damn it.
I always do.
Please. Even if it's a lie. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil. I represent.
Yeah, I represent a group of very disenfranchised losers. QAM, hello. QAM. Vanished. Just vanished into thin air. Must have been his boyfriend. QAM, hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
It's Peter Bulger. I'm here running the French fry machine at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Plantation. I just want to let you know I found my calling in life.
Okay, nice going, Pete. Okay. Get out the old shiv. See how many people you can stab over there, Petey. We were just talking about Pete Bulger before the show today, George and I.
Mm-hmm.
And what a spineless, backstabbing... Although you actually said something almost good about him. Who are you comparing him to?
The people here.
You were comparing him to the sports fraternity there at QAM.
I was saying that when Pete Bulger destroys a radio station, he does it on purpose, deliberately. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's doing it on purpose because he hates that radio station. These people are doing it, and they think they're doing good stuff.
I heard when they bought IOD, I heard what he said about that.
WIOD? Oh, I hate that station.
That's what he said, and then he proceeded to destroy it.
Right. Methodically.
Right.
These people,
as opposed to the people there who
shows,
really believe that they know something with all the sports stuff. And you know what? We had Geldy on this morning. I would love to see, and this isn't a shot at him, although, yeah, it is. I would love to see, because all he talked about was sports. The whole time that I was listening, I heard about an hour. And all he talked about was sports, and the only calls I heard had to do with hockey, because he does the Panther broadcast, obviously. And, you know, there's no interest in hockey. So you talk about narrowcasting, you talk about taking it would be like taking a slice of pie, okay, of Boston cream pie, which I'm very fond of. I don't eat pie because it's nothing but pure sugar, but nevertheless. Taking a slice and then slicing it again, and then slicing it again, you know what I mean?
That's right. Keep slicing.
Until you have nothing but crumbs left.
Keep slicing until you can see through with the slice.
Right, like a tomato, like Ron Popeillo's with those sharp knives, you know, with Uncle Schmendrick, whatever his name is. I can't believe you don't watch infomercials. They're so entertaining.
No, I do. I watch the Spanish language underwear control top pantyhose infomercials.
All right.
Where they show
ass. There's something for everybody.
Yeah.
They show ass
all the time. Yeah.
1250 on your dial. 1,250 votes on the poll. Well, that is pretty damn good. Now let's see. Gay people choose that life. They choose to be gay. 7.2%. That number is consistent. 60 people. 90 people. Excuse me. 90 people out there say that gay people choose to be gay. I remember the day that I made that choice, you know. I was about 10 years old. I sat down. I opened up a sports magazine. I thought, look at that. I think I'm going to get all excited about that. And then, we lived right next door when I was in high school. We lived right next door to the high school athletic field, the football field, the track, the whole deal. And so I could sit in the window of the spare bedroom. We had a spare bedroom, like a guest bedroom. I could sit in the window and watch the hot young guys from the high school out there running track, and stuff with their shirts off and whatever. Mm-hmm. And I sat there one day and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to choose to let that get me all stimulated and all worked up. Like that.
That's how you did it.
That's exactly how it works. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
Great.
I will be in attendance this Thursday night when the Florida Panthers play the Pittsburgh Penguins with Sidney Crosby and company. I'm the one that's excited about it.
Yeah, and Evgeny Malkin?
Exactly.
Right.
But it's shameful that nobody cares.
Well, that's your time, man. We can sit here and scream about it from now till the cows come home, but it ain't going to change anything. They don't give a crap. They haven't got any clue who the people are. They don't care. And then not only that, but half of the people that do show up are dumber than sawdust anyway. Come on, Worrell, hit somebody, will you? Come on, Worrell, hit somebody. I mean, having gone to 80 zillion Panther games since the franchise, since the inception, I mean, listening to the rambling idiocy and lunacy and lack of any kind of understanding of the game, how many seasons do you have to have a team in a given sport before you start to understand the way the game is played and who the players are?
About 30, man.
Well, I guess we got a way to go on that. I don't think they'll make it that long. This is a franchise that's made the playoffs 3 times in its entire existence. In its existence. And they aren't going to make it again this year.
They're just in a dry spell. Yeah,
they're just in a 20-year dry spell, something like that. The good part of it is nobody cares. See, if people really did care, like with the Dolphin thing, that's starting to frost a few asses now. That's why the coaches keep getting canned or running away or whatever the deal is. People are getting a little bit hostile about that. What is this? With one word, children's book sets off uproar. This might be pretty interesting after the break. What is this about?
It is kind of cute.
The Higher Power of Lucky.
It's funny. Read it during the break. You decide.
A rattlesnake bites his dog on the scrotum. Like I said, after the bad break.
The biggest names of best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM. Stop us at night!
Previously on 24. The following takes place between 10 and 10:05 a.m. on Jack Bauer's 24 Hours Off.
Well, Mr. Bauer, I'm Dr. Schnitzelgruber. If you just bend over there and grab your ankles for just a second, this shouldn't take long.
Don't you ever come into my office and talk to me like that again. Do you understand me?
You're in my office.
I'm tired of putting my ass on the line for nothing. I'm done putting my ass on the line for nothing.
If you weren't so tense, this won't hurt.
It's just a question of how much you want it to hurt.
Calm down, Mr. Bauer. Maybe if I called the nurse. Nurse!
You must really not like it, HMO.
24 Hours Off. Tonight, only on Fox.
Call 17, that would be a good poll to take some time. Would you go to a proctologist for an exam if you knew he was gay?
I would imagine that would give him, more expertise than usual.
Give him a leg up on the situation?
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by that? More expertise on... What are you insinuating?
Huh?
Julie Bosman of the New York Times writes, with one word, children's book sets off uproar. This ties right in with what I was saying earlier.
Right.
See, I should have saved that for the third paragraph about the stuff that comes up when you have a cold. Julie says the word scrotum does not often appear in polite conversation or children's literature for that matter. Yet there it is on the first page of The Higher Power of Lucky by Susan Patrone. Or is that Patron? Patrone. This year's winner of the Newbery Medal, the most prestigious award in children's literature. The book's heroine, a scrappy 10-year-old orphan named Lucky Trimble, hears the word through a hole in the wall when another character says he saw a rattlesnake bite his dog Roy on the scrotum. That's what Screwan told me one time. She saw a dog bite Roy on the scrotum. I think it was a dog. Anyway, scrotum sounded Lucky like something green that comes up when you have the flu and cough too much, the book continues. It sounded medical and secret, but also impotent. The inclusion of the word has shocked some school librarians who have pledged to ban the book from elementary schools and reopen the debate over what constitutes acceptable content in children's books. The controversy was first reported by Publishers Weekly, a trade magazine. On electronic mailing lists like librarian.net, dozens of literary blogs and pages on the social networking site LiveJournal, teachers, authors, and school librarians took sides over the book. Librarians from all over the country, including Missoula, Montana, upstate New York, central Pennsylvania, and Portland, Oregon, weighed in, questioning the role of librarian when selecting or censoring, some argued, literature for children. The book included what I called a Howard Stern-type shock treatment just to see how far they could push the envelope, but they didn't have the children in mind, Dana Nielsen, a teacher and librarian in Durango, Colorado, wrote on LM.net, a mailing list that reaches more than 16,000 school librarians. How very sad, she said. The book has already been banned from school libraries in a handful of states in the South, the West, and Northeast, and librarians in other schools have indicated in the online debate that they may well follow suit. Indeed, the topic has dominated the discussion among librarians since the book was shipped to schools. Pat Scales, former chairwoman of the Newbery Award Committee, said that declining to stock the book in libraries was nothing short of censorship. The people who are reacting to that word are not reading the book as a whole, she said. That's what censors do. They pick out words and don't look at the total merit of the book. If it were any other novel, it probably would have gone unnoticed, unordered, and unread. But in the world of children's books, winning a Newbery is the rough equivalent of being selected as an Oprah's Book Club title. Libraries and bookstores routinely order 2 or more copies each year as winners, with the books read aloud to children and taught in classrooms. The Higher Power of Lucky was first published in November by Athenium Richard Jackson Books, an imprint of Simon & Schuster, accompanied by a modest print run of 10,000. After the announcement of the Newbery Award, January 22, the publisher quickly ordered another 100,000 copies, which arrived in bookstores, schools, and libraries around February 5. Reached at her home in Los Angeles, Ms. Patrone said she was stunned by the objections. Stunned at it. The story of the rattlesnake bite, she said, was based on a true incident involving a dog's friend. He got bit on the scrot, she wrote. And one of the themes of the book is that Lucky is preparing himself to be a grown-up, Ms. Patrone said. Learning about language and body parts then is very important to her. The word is just so delicious, Ms. Patrone said. The sound of the word to Lucky is so evocative. It's one of those words that's so interesting because of the sound of the word. Ms. Patrone, who's a public librarian in L.A., said the book was written for children 9 to 12 years old, but some librarians countered that since the heroine of The Higher Power of Lucky is 10, children older than that would not be interested in reading that. I think it's a good case of an author not realizing her audience, said Frederick Muller, a librarian at Halstead Middle School in Newton, New Jersey. If I were a 3rd or 4th grade teacher, I wouldn't want to have to explain that. Authors of children's books sometimes sneak in a single touchy word or paragraph, leaving librarians to choose whether to ban an entire book over one offending phrase. I don't understand. What's the deal with 9 or 10-year-old kids about scrotum?
Nothing. But you're not a born-again Christian nervous Nelly now, are you?
Oh, I can be a nervous Nelly. In the case of Lucky, some of them take no chances. Wendy Stoll, a librarian at Smyrna Elementary in Louisville, Kentucky, wrote on the LMNet mailing list that she wouldn't stock the book. Andrea Koch, the librarian at French Road Elementary School in Brighton, New York, where I went to school. Well, not at that school, though. French Road. I went to Brighton Elementary. Is that incredible? How do you like that? Andrea Koch, the librarian at French Road Elementary School in Brighton, said she anticipated angry calls from parents if she ordered it. I don't think our teachers or myself would want to do that vocabulary lesson, she said in an interview. One librarian who responded to Ms. Nilsson's posting on LMNet said only, sad to say, I didn't order it for either of my schools based on the word. Scrotum. Scrotum.
Oh, my God.
Right. She wrote them, and it was scrotum. Booksellers, too, are watchful for racy content in books they endorse to customers. Carol Chittenden, the owner of... You heard me. The owner of 8 Cousins, a bookstore in Falmouth, Mass., said she once horrified a customer with The Adventures of Blue Avenger by Norma Howe, a novel aimed at junior high school students. I remember one time showing the book to a grandmother and enthusing about it. She said, there's a chapter in there that's very funny, and the word condom comes up. And, of course, she opens the book right to that page and that said condom.
Oh, my gosh.
Junior high school students and condoms. Oh, brother. Heaven forbid. It's not the first time school librarians have squirmed at a book's content, of course. Scum, are you again cracking those knuckles? I can hear it like a million miles away.
Yes.
Some school officials have tried to ban Harry Potter books from school, saying that they implicitly endorse witchcraft and Satanism. Young adult books by Judy Blume, though decades old, are routinely kept out of school libraries.
They don't implicitly endorse it, they explicitly endorse it.
Well, I'm reading the article, okay,
all right.
schmuck? This is the New York Times. What do you know that the New York Times doesn't know?
About Harry Potter?
No. Ms. Nilsson reached at Sunnyside Elementary School in Durango, Colorado, said she'd heard from dozens of librarians who agreed with her stance. Her stance. She's squatting on it. I don't want to start an issue about censorship, she said, but you won't find men's genitalia in quality literature, at least not for children, she said. You won't find the scrot being wrote in kids' books. I mean, it just leaves me speechless. You know, it's just so stupid.
You know, one of
about the word condom in junior high school kids' book.
See, that would have been an important book because one of my friends in high school was still saying scratch 'em.
Yeah, scratch 'em. If you got him, scratch 'em.
Like he'd never heard the word before or seen it in print.
What are you trying to say? He was a moron?
He was a moron.
Oh, well. Goes with the territory. Oh, I must have some of that scrotum in my throat.
Again?
Isn't that what it says there? It's a word that comes up when you have the flu and cough too much, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, more scrotum.
I heard it's a word that's always on your tongue.
I'm not here today.
This is a tape.
Yeah, it's a tape that Joe Bell put together.
Mm-hmm.
1,261 votes. New series of bombings raised death toll in Iraq. All kinds of tourists. Look at that. All that bombed out stuff and all these guys looking around like, oh, hey, what's going on here?
Oh, that's so sad.
It's pathetic. The only good thing is that America doesn't really care, for the most part. I mean, there's a few thousand people that care, and they go out there and they protest, and they scream, and they holler. And, some of us care, but generally speaking.
Hey, look, here's another story about idiots climbing a mountain in the middle of the winter. And
what does this have to do with Britney's haircut? That's
right.
what I'd like to know. And what does it have to do with Anna Nicole's stenchy body? 1,261 votes on the poll. Gay people are born that way, 603. Are fine with me, 309. Choose that life, 91, 7.2%. Constant idiots. Remember that, the Constant Gardener, bad movie, by the way. The Constant Idiots. Love Tim Hardaway, 75. Those gay people, they love him. They want to do him. Gay people want me, 45. See, when a guy says that, I think he wishes.
Right.
He wishes that gay people want to do him.
That's wishful thinking.
Right. I hate this poll, only 3.2%, 41. Gay people are all flamers, 33. Wish they were straight, 25. Are easy to spot, 23. And scare me, I'm a scared man, only 17.
The biggest names, the best
What are you scared of, Timmy?
This is Neil Rogers, Sports
The
Radio
boogeyman,
560 QAM.
Neil?
Hi, everybody. This is Gully Goldstein, with my regular voice. But perhaps you know me better as the official voice of the Florida Panthers! I'm here to tell you about the wonders of ionized yeast. This here is the good yeast, not the smelly kind. Not that grows inside your crotch. Ionized yeast puts meat on your bones. So men lacking in performance in the bedroom could really use this stuff. That's just one of the many benefits to using ionized yeast. This stuff here, I don't even know what this stuff is here. The hell is ionized yeast anyway? Huh? I mean, hey! Ain't the music getting kind of loud over there? Am I turning the music down? They can't even hear what I'm talking about. Hey! Can anybody hear me over there? Yeah! Some point of reason and spot if nobody can hear what I'm talking about.
Yeah, my favorite comment by Geldy about the Panthers this morning was when he said the organization is like a rotten fish. You know, if it stinks from the head, it stinks all the way down to the tail. It's 12:32 at 560 WQAM. Now it's lack of food insecurity in Iraq. We're doing a heck of a job, man. We may not be good, but at least we're consistent. The lack of security in Iraq is leading now to a collapse in food supply.
All right.
Look at us begging for food despite the fortune. The lack of security in Iraq is leading now to a collapse in food supply.
All right.
Look at us begging for food despite the fortunes we have. 60-year-old Mutana from Baghdad told IPS, Interpress Service, standing at a vegetable market in central Baghdad where vegetable supplies are not what they used to be. Mahmoud despaired for Iraq.
What?
A country with two great rivers should have been the biggest exporter in the world, but now we beg for food from those who participated in killing us. Iraq is rich in oil and agricultural resources. Local and international aid flooded into Iraq in 2004, the year following the invasion, but much of the supply was blocked off after the kidnapping of many aid activists in the country. The food the Iraqis did get was often not what they needed or wanted. Maybe it wasn't even halal. Iraqis don't feel at ease receiving food aid when they exported food in the past, economist Dr. Jassim al-Rakabi told IPS. Iraq has been a field of aid NGOs since the U.S. occupation began, and many of those NGOs brought food stuff that is not what Iraqis were used to, but they had to take it due to the need they were facing. In other words, if you were starving to death and they brought you a bunch of rice, and you said, oh, that's white rice, I only like brown rice.
Yeah, guess what?
Your mama. Barley, wheat, pulses, and the famous Iraqi dates are a staple diet and also exported. Oh, dates, fat. You ever have dates?
I can't stand them.
I've had a few dates. Common meals in Iraq include rice, lamb, chicken, and locally grown vegetables like cucumbers, onions, and tomatoes. Under the occupation, Iraqis are getting much of their food from companies in Australia and other countries who assisted the U.S. during the invasion and occupation. This food has often been of low quality. During July 2006, the Iraqi Ministry of Trade rejected or destroyed thousands of tons of contaminated food or food past its expiry date. This is in the Interpress expiry date.
Mm-hmm.
The food has caused widespread poisoning. Dr. Rikabi holds both the U.S.-backed Iraqi government and U.S. occupation authorities responsible for the failing food supply. By the end of 2005, most international NGOs had withdrawn from Iraq on the orders of their governments who saw the writing on the wall of increasing sectarian violence. Maybe they saw the writing on the wall like Daniel and the Lions did. Remember he saw the writing on the wall?
That's right.
And it said, Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach. Right. That's exactly what it said, just like the Rivingtons in Papa Umamau. That's what it said. That's what the original Hebrew translates to, Papa Umamau Oivei. Chobze and Dreher, that's what it said. The security situation and lack of gas means that local farmers are often unable to get their food to the markets. And it goes on, and bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop, and the prices of imported goods have increased dramatically. All the way around, it's a nightmare is what it is. It's a freaking nightmare. And the American public are like, well, that's the way it goes. Too bad for them. We got to get them over there before they come and get us.
Yeah.
That's right. Get all those Iraqis over there, man, those men, women, and children, those little babies because you know what they say about terrorists.
What did they say? They chose that?
They
were born that way?
They were born terror. No, they chose it. It was a choice. They were socialized into becoming terrorists just like fags are socialized into becoming
gay.
Like that. And still 7.2% of this audience stubbornly insist. But the guy made a good point, that one Putz. He made a really good point.
So.
And when we took the poll about whatever, I don't know what the topic was, but like about 7% of the audience said they were Republicans. And 7.2% of this audience say gay people choose that life. So that you have to justify your hate. I mean, if you admit, if you come to the point where you finally confess and admit that you were wrong, and that people are born with their sexual orientation, whatever it happens to be, then it's much more difficult to justify the hate.
That's
right.
I
don't like the way they dress. I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way they smell. I don't like the way they look at my ass. Well, whatever it might be, You got to come up with some other excuses, I guess. 12:79. We'll have 1,300 before the top of the hour. We got a shot at something, man. If Chris was Chris is busy studying his presidents right now. Next time I give him like an instant pop quiz on the air like that. That was not good. That was bad by me, putting you on the spot. Now, where did you go to school?
High school, went to Hialeah High.
Oh, no wonder. If I would have asked you to name all the Cuban presidents, you probably could have told me.
Fidel.
Fulgencio Batista? Who was before Batista, George?
You're asking me.
What do you mean I'm asking you? You're of Cuban descent. Don't you know your Cuban history, mister? What is wrong with you people? That would be like asking me who about gay history.
Yeah.
About what's his name? Michelangelo.
What about it?
He didn't need a ladder.
Hemo?
He didn't need no ladder up there to paint the Sistine Chapel. He was floating up there. Did you know that?
No.
Because fairies can fly?
You fairy!
Just put this all in that big educational packet you got from this show. Pavel Bure is coming to the Panthers. Wow! There are some things that stick in your mind. At that point, I realized that it's hopeless. Other than early bird dinners and hating your neighbor and why won't you speak English, that's basically what South Florida is all about, you know. That's it. WQAM, hello.
Neil, what's up, man?
Yes, sir.
Well, I work with this Republican guy as well. And it's not that gay people get to choose. God gives them free will to give them the right to choose, which I find totally confusing as well. I don't get that.
But then don't forget, God is omnipotent, so therefore and omniscient, so he knows ahead of time what they're going to choose.
Yeah, it's very weird, that whole thinking of he gives free will, then they get to choose, and then they'll get to go to hell. It's, I don't know.
Well, otherwise it's going to get mighty lonely down there.
Yeah, he also believes that animals have no soul and they're here for our own purposes and stuff.
Yeah, they're here for us to diddle around with. That's correct.
Yeah. All right, Neil.
Good luck to you, Pally. I'd shoot his ass tomorrow is what I would do, just for the hell of it, you know. 5670560. I mean, the call so far, we had a couple of pretty interesting calls. This guy was fine. He was like a real living and breathing person. How do you like that? When you're dealing with stupid people, just like last week when we had some of those conversations, and there would be people calling in and say, well, why don't these people do some research? Why don't they do some reading? They're not interested in doing research.
That's right.
Don't confuse them with the facts. Nobody who is that ignorant is ever going to do any research. Nobody's going to read anything that might fly in the face of their bigoted, narrow-minded, stupid attitude.
If they are going to do any research, it's to reinforce their hatred and bigotry.
That's right. They'll read the 700 Club website. They'll watch Pat Robertson, and they'll listen to all this swill.
Pick through the Bible and pick the passages that they like, that they can use against
their nose
other
a
people.
lot.
Right.
I find that these people generally tend to pick their nose a lot, although I pick my nose a lot, but generally in private.
Oh, what does that mean?
I don't know. Is there something wrong with picking your nose? What are you supposed to do? Let it all just grow in there like a forest or something?
No, man.
Pick it.
Right.
That's what Wilson said.
Use
Pickett.
the
Is he dead,
tongs.
Wilson Pickett? I think he's dead. No?
I don't know. What, do you want to hear some Wilson Pickett?
Oh, you got some?
You want to hear Wilson Pickett?
No. 1282 on the pull. We'll have 1,302 shakes of a lamb's tail. What about Woodrow Wilson?
How many hits does he have?
Not a big Wilson Pickett fan, I got to be very honest with you.
Well, how about this one then? There's one here that you will recognize.
Oh, I see.
And that ain't it either.
I'm sure it's not.
This is Funky Broadway.
I see.
Here's another one that you won't recognize real quick.
How about In the Midnight Hour?
That ain't
Since
Wilson
that's the only one that I'm going to know by Wilson Pickett.
That one isn't here.
But this one, talk about two dangerous people. There's Khanum Lisa and Ehud Olmert. Oh, my God.
This one,
Mahmoud Abbas.
Come on now. Name this tune. Everyone, little children know the name of the song.
Boney Maroney.
Mashed potatoes!
I have no idea. What is it?
Land of a Thousand Dances.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's very popular, Land of a Thousand Dances. In fact, Boney Maroney, which he mentioned by Larry Williams. Now, if you had Short Fat Fanny by Larry Williams, I would carry the show over till 4:30 this afternoon.
The biggest
I bet you don't have
of
it.
best talent.
No.
This is Neil Rogers.
Thank
Sports
God.
Radio 560 UAM.
Rock solid.
He hit it! Oh, my baby did it! He did it! He did it! Oh!
Oh.
Amen. Amen. 1248 at 560 WQAM. All the bubble mices all the time. All the getskis all the time. All the murder, all the intolerance, all the hate, all the ignorance, all the stupidity. That's the world in which we live. You want to see an example of it?
Please.
WQAM, hello. See, there it was right there.
Wow.
5670560. That was it. That was the only one I was ringing at the moment. Because I know that the good calls are probably waiting until the 1 to 2 hour. They want to be legendary like me. 5670560 and pound 560 in the Verizon Singular Wireless line. President's Day. What are your thoughts about Benjamin Harrison? 1,297 votes. And what about Grover Cleveland?
What about him?
I don't know. What about Chester Alan Arthur? I think now which one was a drunk? That was Grant. General Ulysses S. Grant was a drunk.
Gee.
And then, of course, there was always Hebert Hoover. I mean, these are just not important things. They have nothing to do with our lives. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at the important stuff.
That's right.
Like American Idol. And Britney's haircut. And Anna's dead, smelly, stenchy body. And Howard K. Smith. And Howard K. Stern. WQAM, hello.
Yes, I'd like to be on... Is this the radio?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like
the telephone.
Yes, I'd like to...
Be on? You're on right now.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to discuss... You discussing the gay situation?
The gay situation?
Well, some comments about gays.
Yes.
And the host was saying that it doesn't
Sir,
make any sense.
let me ask you a question. Who do you think you're talking to? This is the host. This is me. Do you know my name?
No, I don't. I just started listening now.
I see. Okay, go ahead. You're on right now.
Okay, I'd just like to respond like this: that I believe that God gives us certain tendencies to certain things, just like we have tendencies to anger, we have tendencies to many things, but that doesn't mean necessarily that it's the right thing. And so although homosexuals may have certain tendencies and we should not judge them and we shouldn't hate them, but it doesn't mean the behavior is correct.
So you have these tendencies, sir?
Well, let me ask you this. What does that mean, correct? Well, in other words, you're defining what is correct? Who's to define what is correct?
The Bible says that it's...
Oh, the Bible says that. In other words, you're a Bible thumper, sir? You must be a crazy person.
I believe the Bible.
Do you sacrifice animals?
Let me ask you this. If your children are disobedient, you stone them to death?
No, that's not...
That's what the Bible says.
That's exactly what the Bible says, sir. You wouldn't know the Bible if somebody stuck 14 of them up your ass right now, okay, you moron? Let me talk to the host. I don't know who I'm speaking to. The host. I thought that's something you're supposed to put in your mouth in the church. The host.
Oh, that's that other word we were talking about. It's in that children's book.
If you don't back away from the scrot, you're going to get smote if you don't back away from the scrot. I'm telling you that right now. You'll be smitten.
You're going to hit me in the throat?
Just like a kitten in the microwave. That's right.
All she wrote.
In the throat. And I'm feeling a little bit of the old bloat.
You know,
not actually. My
to that guy,
exactly
they only, of all the Old Testament stuff.
Why would you dignify such an idiotic moron? Why would you waste your time trying to explain something to an ignoramus who starts out by God did this and God did that?
Because he's ignoring all of the Old Testament.
Correct. Not all your choices are correct.
Absolutely correct, sir.
This is the man who'll make the definitions because the Bible says. When somebody starts with me with that Bible crap, I immediately know I'm dealing with a crazy person, okay?
But you didn't even ask him about the animal sacrifices that he's not conducting.
How do you know he's not? I bet he's got a dead chicken nailed to the door right now. Probably kosher for Shavuos.
Probably getting ripe, I'd imagine.
1303, just like Anna Nicole's body, man. That chicken ain't smelling too good. Good golly, Miss Molly. I just got through screaming and yelling and carrying out about ignorance and stupid people, and here comes this Bible-thumping jackass who doesn't even know who the hell he's talking to, who definitely needs, some telephone technique, a refresher course or something, and just an idiot. You're entitled to be dumb, sir. That's part of life, okay? At least in America, even though there aren't too many freedoms left, you still have the freedom to be a moron. And we invite every moron to come on this show, and believe you me, they take advantage of it and express their stupidity. Just lay it right out there for the human race to sniff and examine and poke around a little bit. Delish. WQAM, hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes.
This is Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Your long-lost niece. Anyway, Uncle Neil, speaking of hosts, is it the Phil Henry bit where the woman calls in and they ate her son? What was remember that?
Yeah.
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 Can you play that?
No.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
5670560, pound 560 on it. It's we're in the middle of a conversation here, and she wants your all-you-can-eat Negro now. Although it does have a lot to do with what we're talking about, but nevertheless, it would kill some good time too. But nevertheless, too long.
Are you sure?
Yep. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, this is WQAM, right?
What did I just say? When I answered the phone, I said WQAM, hello.
Well, I didn't hear that, sir.
WQAM, hello.
Okay. I'm calling because I'm listening to your show. I listened to QAM a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing this thing where people are calling in and talking about the gays.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're saying what's right and what's wrong. I did hear that mentioned. And I don't think there's anything about what's right and wrong. And I heard you also say that when people talk about the Bible, that
they're crazy people, yes.
Crazy and stuff of that nature.
That is
but
correct.
I think that people have to have some things to believe in, and if that's what they choose to believe in.
Yeah, if they're weak and superstitious, and if they need a crutch, yeah. But why do they have to believe in something that they use as an instrument of hate and intolerance?
Well, I really don't perceive it as being that way because I do read the Bible. I've read a lot of other things as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some things that might teach hate, But when I look at the Bible, I don't see hate coming in there. I think it's the way some people interpret it. It's like with, and I want to deal with the homosexual thing for a second in that regard only.
Yes.
It doesn't say anything about hate. What the Bible teaches me when I read
they should
it.
be put to death.
No, what it says is this. It says hate sin.
Yeah.
But love the sinner.
Oh, yeah. You sound like Anita Bryant with a deeper voice now, yeah.
Say what?
We hate the sin, but we love the sinner.
It doesn't say that in the Bible.
Yeah, love the sinner, man.
No, it doesn't say that anywhere. Where does it say that in the Bible, sir? In Leviticus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then in the book
of Exodus with Leon.
Liar.
Sir, let me say this to you, okay? Do you know those pages of the Bible? Believe you me, if you run out of toilet paper, they'll come in really handy, but they leave a nasty stain. Woo!
They also
good
smoke
stuff,
real
baby.
nice, too.
Good stuff. Huh?
They smoke real good, too.
This is good. We're getting some really good Bible thumpers. They're my favorite, man. My favorite moron. And don't say this, and don't say that, and I says, is that in Leviticus? Yeah. Sir, you would know Leviticus from Moshe Pupik, okay? From Abraham Solomon. From Yitzchak Schwartz. 1308 on the poll. Let's see, still 7.2%. It is solid, man. It is absolutely
rock solid.
95 say gay people choose that life. Just like Republicans choose that life, too.
The biggest names, the best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
1 to 2 hour, it's a phenomenon.
Every good Christian knows a game to play, and it's not so very hard to do.
All right.
The name of the game is the Bible says. If you interpret it the way we do, tell people you know the way.
Absolutely.
Invite them to your house. Take their possessions away. And then you burn it down. You can get somebody to believe anything if you make the Bible say it's true. No matter what you do, you can be guilt-free. The Lord will always forgive you. Pick up a poisonous snake. Wave it all around. Find a abortion clinic. And shoot a doctor down. Everybody play along with me, okay? Come on, you young Republicans. Beat the crap out of your kids. You're to the Deuteronomy bow. Go on a pilgrimage and pass the Kool-Aid
sacrifice. Bite off a chicken's head, then nail it on the door right next to your mezuzah and right under the cross, the crucifix. The Omen was on with Gregory Peck last night for the 8 millionth time.
Yeah.
I can never stop watching that. I just love that. And the one thing I wonder is, that kid must have been a really deep sleeper. Remember when he takes the scissors and he's cutting the kid's hair off? And he shines that light on there to see the back of his head is the 666, and everybody goes, oh my God, it's the Antichrist. Brother. And it's just, it just leaves me limp. I think that's what I should do these last 400 years that I'm going to be on the air, is just do an anti-religion show. I've often thought of that. Not that we don't do plenty of them.
Well, Clarence says that's a bad thing.
I beg your pardon?
Well, that's what he told me once.
Oh, I want to hear about this. You never told me this story.
Oh, he was giving me some tips the other day. You remember when I went into his office?
He was giving you tips on what you should be talking about when you're doing the show?
Yes.
And said what?
That religious thing is a big turn-off, tune-out.
As opposed to talking about the Panthers, for example?
Right.
Or talking about
good.
And like that?
Anytime
and Jimmy and Danny and Danny and Jimmy. I've got news for you. What he knows about broadcasting and about what constitutes a tune-out, when he puts those segments on with Ira Windbag and the same retread old sports hacks over and over. You know what it's like? It's like putting a noose around the neck of the people on the air.
No.
Noose.
Sports talk good. Everything
In fact, remember, bad. Once upon a time I worked at W News, WNWS, we used to call it W News. This ought to be W Noose, where Clarence, the sports nerd schmuck, puts a noose around whoever the hell is on the air. I'm telling you, man, every one of those segments is a tune-out. Let's go back to that Boston cream pie.
No, they're not.
Every one of those Boston cream pie segments, like taking a crumb out of the pie and saying, okay, this is what we got left. But never, what would I know about it? Huh? How would I know anything about broadcasting?
About ratings,
about this business, about radio, about ratings, about what people want to hear people talk about? That's right. No, it's a hell of a lot more interesting and a lot more controversial. Oh, accident on Miami Freeway involving several vehicles. Where the hell is this?
In Miami, just west of Northwest 57th Avenue. Boy, what a traffic nightmare this is going to be there.
Two eastbound lanes of 836 shut down, all westbound lanes.
9 people injured. We'll stay on top of this if it causes any more problems.
All westbound lanes and the 2 eastbound lanes of 836 are shut down. They had a massive wreck. Well, thank God for the QM News Department, okay, for giving us that information. It's a good thing I spied that out of the corner of my eye. Must be the Lord was intervening on my side that I saw that. Wow. Don't go near that 836, man. Good luck to you. You'll need it. Am I right?
All the time.
13:22. We could have made 14 today. In fact, I think we still might do it. What do you think, Chris? Can we do it? I didn't hear anything about food today. No food today?
We had Howie's this morning.
Oh. Well, why do you say that like that's chopped liver?
It's not chopped liver. I had my grouper fingers, and it was great. I'm addicted to that.
Oh, you with those grouper fingers, man.
It's wonderful. They're great.
Grouper fingers.
Addicted.
A British soldier's postcard to his sweetheart has finally arrived 92 years after he sent it from the trenches of WW1. Better late than never, right? That's that's not yours. This is in London. That's somebody's post office hard at work. Private Walter Butler wrote to Amy Hicks in 1915, telling her that he was alive and well. But the Army issued a postcard, never made it to her home in Wiltshire, 60 miles west of London. Butler survived the war, and the couple went on to get married. Well, thank God for that. The postcard turned up in a postal sorting office, which sent it along last week to the post office near Hicks' address. A local postman called the home of the couple's daughter, Joyce Hulbert, to announce the discovery. And she probably said,
oh, my God.
Hulbert, 86, the grandmother of 3, said her late parents rarely discussed the war and that the relic of the past had little meaning for her. Well, what a heartless bitch. She wondered what the fuss was all about. I think it's rather excessive, Hulbert told the Associated Press. There's lots more interesting things going on than a postcard arriving 92 years late. Boy, what a sour, nasty old bitch, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's a little bit late now. Oh, look, what nice, what kind of these are dogs in the snow. What's this all about?
In the snow.
Anything it's got to do with dogs.
The whole idea is that somebody is up there in the snow, and they need to go and find them.
You want to find me?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's Rob Marciano. Look at that. The dog is looking at Rob Marciano. I wish I was that dog. Just kidding, Rob. Okay, look at that. There's Rob on his hands and knees crawling through the ice. Wow. Where's that Aki? Oh, there he is. Ai. No, that's Rob Marciano. That's their new thing at CNN. They hire hot-looking young guy weather people now to attract the audience. Well, they got me hooked. So how do you like that? You send a postcard that arrives 92 years later. I think somebody's probably due a refund. So you were never into stamp collecting, huh?
No, that required some money.
Oh, not a lot. No, seriously. When I was a kid,
any?
all the magazines that you'd buy all these different hobby magazines, and like 5,000 stamps for $1.25.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe you'd buy hobby magazines.
What do you mean by that?
Those cost money too.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I used to buy my magazines at Louis Sussman's newsstand right across from number 8 elementary school in Rochester where I went to school. Louis Sussman. Comic books, baseball cards. Those were the days, baby. Now, the kids still go into like newsstands like that and buy that crap or not?
Yeah, well, there are more specific stores for what you're into.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Like pornography, stuff like that, right?
Exactly. Like if you're into comics, there's comic book stores, and if you're into porno, there's porno stores, you know.
Better not be. Better not be no porno stores, because the Lord's going to get pretty pissed off about that, and He will smite those people, man. They will be smitten.
So it is written. And I ain't
smitten. 1,323 votes. Let's see, we need 77 votes. 77 in 52 minutes. I feel a little bit giddy today. I don't know.
Little gidget? Well, this will get you giddier.
Yeah, what's that?
If I can get it to play.
Okay.
One moment,
Not Short
please.
Fat Fanny.
One moment, please.
On Atco Records by Larry Williams?
All our operators are busy
I will
right now.
swoon if you play that. I'm not hearing it. I don't hear a damn thing.
Oh,
You hear it, Chris?
Give me a second.
Maybe my hearing's going bad. Maybe I'm just senile or something. Oh! I can't believe it. Oh! I'm on a... Let's play the whole thing.
All right. It ain't that long, so yeah.
I know it. About a minute 48. 157.
Oh! Vegan and I hadn't ducking back in the alley. Don't wanna rip it up, don't wanna dance with Annie. I got a brand new lover, name is Short Fat Fanny. One day when I was visiting at Heartbreak Hotel, that's where I met Fanny, and she sure looks swell. I told her that I loved her, I never leave. She put her arm around me, gave me fever. She's my tutti frutti, I love the child so. She wants me like a hound dog everywhere I go. Whenever I'm around, I'm on my P's and Q's. She might step on my blue suede shoes. Well, at a honky-tonk party just the other night, Fanny got jealous and she started a fight. Because I was dancing with Mary Lou, I had to call Jim Dandy to the rescue. So Fat Fanny, she's my heart's desire. Short Fat Fanny sets my soul on fire. On Monday we were married on Blueberry Hill. Now we so happy and I love her still. Mashed potatoes, gravy, and cocktails.
Jesus Christ.
My big fat tutti frutti and I love the child so. She wants me like a hound dog everywhere I go. Whenever I'm around, I'm on my P's and Q's. She might step on my blue suede shoes. Well, at a honky-tonk party just the other night, Fanny got jealous and she started a fight. Because I was dancing with Mary Lou, I had to call Jim Dandy to the rescue. Oh, Fat Fanny is my heart's desire. Got the kind of loving sets my soul on fire. Short Fat Fanny, well, I love her so. I'll never let Short Fat Fanny go.
Oh! Man, that was better than sex, I'll tell you that right now. That was sensational. Didn't you like that?
I've always liked that song.
Not only was it a novelty record, but it also was a novelty record that had the names of all these other hits, Tutti Frutti and Jim Dandy and all these other, from that era, you know, from the late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got a year on that, like 58?
I don't have a year on that.
Oh, what a shame.
I
could look it up in my book.
I'm going to send it to you so you can pod it up.
I beg your pardon?
Put it in your pod.
Oh, I see. Oh, pod it up. I thought you said pot it up.
Pod.
You're the one that's always potting it up.
Yeah.
1335 on the poll. By the way, if there's any people out there that got a good supply, George is interested. 13:35. We need 65 votes in 48 minutes. What?
Or a bad supply. I'm not paying.
Or even a weak supply, okay? Or air supply. Don't be playing any of that crap. Don't do that. No. Don't undo the good that you just did. Because the Lord said it is written in Exodus, man. It's in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy that Larry Williams will go to heaven with short, fat Fanny. Ever to see anybody with a short, fat Fanny?
Yes.
I have too. 12 minutes after 1 at 560. That was one of the great moments. I mean, we're coming up on 31 years I've been on the air in this town, and that right there was one of the great audio moments in history of this show. Short, fat, freaking Fanny. Oh, my God. Exactly. 119 at 560 WQAM. All the Bible thumpers all the time. In other words, like that. Bible says this and the Bible said that. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Boca Brian says that the Bible says that was 1957.
Oh, so the short, fat Fanny. I think I said 58. So I was within 1 year, which is always good enough for me. Larry Williams and short, fat Fanny. Boy, that was, oh, my God, what that did for me. It like almost unscrambled my brain. I beg your pardon?
You should already have it.
Now, where the hell did you find that?
I have Vase.
No, seriously, where the hell did you find that?
I went out into the ether and snatched it.
Okay, whatever you say.
I downloaded it with LimeWire.
Don't be saying such crap. 1,346 votes on the poll. I couldn't care less where you got it. I'm just tickled to death that you got it. 54 more votes and we got 1,400. Boy, that'll be a real feather in Chris's old Davy Crockett cap and that coonskin cap.
See? It's actually a Dolphins baseball hat.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, how come fat people always wear caps like that? I don't wear a cap.
No. I don't think it's so much a fat thing as a losing your hair thing.
Oh, don't tell me you're also losing your hair. You're fat and you're getting bald. Well, I can relate to both of those.
No, he's not getting bald. He just is.
He already is. Oh, jeez. Well, you know. Mitt Romney, there's that Mormon candidate. He's got 2 chances, none and much, much less than none. I got as good a chance of getting elected as he's got. Mitt Romney, who's touted his support of gun owners since launching his presidential campaign, yesterday acknowledged he didn't become a member of the NRA until last August. Oh, no. A former advocate of gun control, Romney, during his 1994 run for his U.S. Senate-backed measures the gun rights groups opposed, such as a 5-day waiting period on gun sales and a ban on certain assault weapons. The former Massachusetts governor has been criticized for changing his positions to appeal to social conservatives voting in Republican primaries. In a nationally broadcast interview yesterday, he also had to explain his switch to a conservative stance on abortion and why he once voted for Democrats in Massachusetts primaries. He's all over the place. Spokesman Kevin Madden said Romney did not join the NRA just to court gun owners, right, who are considered a force in Republican primary politics, not to support those gun owners. No, God forbid. Just as recently as August. He joined the NRA because, like millions of Americans, he supports the group's advocacy of the Second Amendment and its commitment to education programs promoting the safe use of firearms by law-abiding gun owners, Madden said. Asked why Romney joined only a few months before declaring his candidacy, Madden said, I would argue not many Americans care when you join, but why you join, and I think I've made that clear. Right. Bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop. Yeah, there you go. Another political whore. Yeah, but he's a Mormon. He's a man of the cloth. Mm-hmm. He's a man of, all that
the magic cloth.
Is that what it is, the magic cloth? How about the magic underwear?
That's what I mean.
Oh.
The little crucifix on the lapel there.
Careful how you sleep in that magic underwear. Sometimes that friction makes God do really strange things to you.
Or you're supposed to resist. That's what that calls.
Well, that's correct. 1350 on the poll. We need 50 votes in 38 minutes. If we can't do that, I'm hanging it up. Right here and right now. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
And let's take a bunch of calls, too. Take them if you got them. Well, we don't have any.
No.
Well, why would we? It's Monday. It's President's Day. We haven't even mentioned, who did we leave out? I think we mentioned all the presidents, didn't we? Harry Truman, did we mention him? Did we mention Ike? Did we mention Dwight Eisenhower, huh? We did not. We didn't mention Richard Nixon. We didn't mention John Kennedy. We didn't mention Gerald Ford. Oh, my God.
There's a month-long funeral.
Jimmy Carter, Peanut Man, Ronald Reagan, Bush 1, Bush 2, Bubba. Now we're complete. Now we mentioned them all. So now after we've done that, now Chris is going to give you the entire list of all the presidents, starting with George Washington right through GW. Here we go.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut. Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, were you serious when you were just joking around when you said Abe Lincoln after George Washington?
Yeah, I was kidding. I don't know who the presidents are in order, so I was just throwing out the ones that I knew off the top of my head.
Well, who really cares, you know? I mean, the fact that I memorized that in school 100 years ago, what does that really prove? And I still can't get the James Knox poke, although I finally today got that down to a science. James Knox Polk was 11, right between John Tyler and Zachary Taylor.
Okay.
And Millard Fillmore was 13. In fact, John Tyler, number 10. Remember the campaign slogan for William Henry Harrison? Tippecanoe and Tyler, too.
Yeah, whatever the hell that means.
Well, William Henry Harrison was Tippecanoe. He was a little tipsy, too, evidently. Anybody that's dumb enough to make his inaugural speech in the pouring rain and get pneumonia and die in a few days, not too good. William Henry Harrison. Do you ever see pictures of him? I mean, like drawings of him?
No. I mean, I'm sure I have.
Oh, he's a little guy, kind of funny looking.
Yeah, and dead. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Play OJ No Juice.
I beg your pardon?
Can you play the bit, OJ No Juice?
No, that's not requested. Maybe a holiday, but it's not, no.
I commend him for knowing the name of it, though.
No, that's very good. He probably works in the station. He's probably been stealing the bits, just like somebody else did.
Howard!
Well, I tell you, pretty slow on the phone here today, man. Pretty slow. 13:55. We need 45 votes in 36 minutes. We got the 1,400 licked. Man, that's a big number. On a holiday, 1,400. I think I should be able to take the rest of the week off, don't you?
No.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I hope you don't think I'm a jerk for asking you one of those what's your take questions, but have you heard of this guy on the radio down here, 850, Savage Nation?
Nazi? No, I don't hear him. I don't listen to him.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely right-wing Nazi, but boy, he's been bushing, you know, bush-bashing.
Well, so what does that prove? Why would you listen to somebody on the radio who's a Nazi? Who's a hateful right-wing lunatic? Click. Oh, there he goes. That was a good conversation. See, that's the capacity of most South Floridians to have a conversation. Not that we were disagreeing or anything, but just he's trying to give a little bit of plug there on 850 Michael Savage. Nobody wants to hear that crap.
That was probably his producer.
Hey, let me tell you, Steve Lappa, the number of people listening to your radio station in Dade and Broward counties, you could put in a phone booth and have room for Chris's ass left over. How do you like that? That's really a lot of room left over. You going to hop in that booth, Chris?
Sure.
Squeeze right on in there. Oh, but Bill O'Reilly's on that station, and what's his name? And who knows what they got on there. Like Norma Kent told me a long time ago, Steve Lappa, everything he touches turns to crap. He's got the Midas touch in reverse. WQAM, hello.
Hi, I want to speak to Neil.
Speaking.
Is this Uncle Neil?
Sounds like me, yes.
I wanted to ask about your slant on the whole thing with Tim Hardaway, because it's driving me crazy listening to the sports line where everybody's defending him on what came out of his mouth.
Yeah, well, what do you expect from a bunch of morons who are sports nerds, okay? Any jock, no matter what they say, even OJ killed 2 people, no matter what any jock does, there's a defense for it. Don't you understand?
Yeah, but it's amazing. It's these apologies of, well, he's a good spirit and he's a good guy, and yet he had an opportunity to clean up what he had to say, and he went even beyond that in subsequent comments.
Mm-hmm.
And now I hear he's taking his name off of the front of his business.
Car wash, yes.
So people won't identify with him. What happens to somebody like this now? I mean, does he make?
Let me ask you this question. Listen to me. What difference does it make what happens to him? He's an idiot. He's a bigot. He came out and he expressed his bigotry. He's a moron. So what difference does it make what happens to him?
Well, not him individually, but it just seems that now what happens with the American effing way is that you screw up, you make some kind of unheartfelt apology, and people seemingly forgive you and say, see, he apologized. He's okay now. But how do you apologize?
The people you're talking about, the sports nerds, if he would have come and done a dump on their desk, they would have said, that was the best smelling dump I've ever smelled in my life. Don't you understand? Consider the source, sir, and calm down. Have a great day. Wow. This is pretty exciting. Thanks to whoever faxed this in. I missed this.
Me too.
The 2 main satellite radio providers, XM Satellite Radio Holdings and Sirius, are expected to announce a long-awaited merger today, according to the New York Post. How do you like them apples, huh? How do you like them fried green tomatoes? The newspaper said the 2 companies were negotiating over the weekend to merge the companies. The deal is expected to be structured as a merger of equals. Representatives of the companies could be immediately reached for comment. So XM and Sirius are going to get serious. Yeah, why does anybody care about what happens to Tim Hardaway? If he makes $50 million, if he makes 50 cents, I really don't give a crap. And the people who are offended by what he said, they're already doing what they should be doing. That is, they're boycotting his business, and they're demonstrating, and they're protesting, and they're pissed off, and they can do whatever the hell they want to do. He had a right to open up his stupid mouth, and they've got a right to be pissed off about it, and that's the way it goes. But the people on the air that this guy's talking about, it's no surprise. We know where they're coming from. Oh, he was a basketball player. He was a star. And he, like Geldy was saying this morning, oh, well, he hates a lot of things. So when he says he hates gay people, it's not a big deal because he hates everybody.
The biggest
nice going, Geldy. You simpering idiot.
Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I broke in through her bedroom window at 5 a.m. to dip my wig.
Oh, my God.
What I knew was criminal, but that ain't nothing new if you play for the fish.
Absolutely.
I guess my girlfriend forgot to tell me that this other bitch was someone else's wife. Her surly husband was mean and healthy. And I found out when it chased me with a knife. Why didn't that bitch tell me? It was too dark to see. She'd be in bed with her husband, and that scared the out of me. Please don't fail me now.
Oh, poor Cecil Collins, baby. Back when that was going on. Every single one of these Jock episodes, people on the air, including on this station, he was just trying to get a look. He was just in there trying to get a look.
That's right.
So, in other words, all you people out there, if somebody breaks in your bedroom window at night, don't get all panicky. Don't call the police. Don't get out that piece. Don't get all... they're just looking around. It's like when you go into a store, and they come up to you and say, can I help you find something? Oh, just looking.
Maybe they just wanted to bring you a goose.
Yeah, a Christmas goose or whatever the hell it might have been.
Whatever holiday.
This is the Jock fraternity, baby. Don't you understand? And you're never, ever going to break through. It's never going to change. Actor Ray Liotta was arrested on suspicion of DUI.
Rock solid.
No. After crashing his car into two parked vehicles in Pacific Palisades, authorities said. It's got a picture of him here. It looks like he got his zits all straightened out. Liotta, 52, was taken into custody just before 8:30 p.m. Saturday and booked on a misdemeanor DUI charge, L.A. police spokesman Mike Lopez said. I wonder if he's kin to Hector Lopez, who used to play for the Yankees. Or Trini Lopez, who sang, If I Had a Hammer. Remember that?
Yes.
I preferred Peter, Paul, and Mary myself. He was released after posting $15,000 bail, ordered to appear in court next month, Lopez said. No one was injured in the collision. Liotta was alone in his car. There we go. Trini Lopez, I can tell by that funky guitar.
Sorry.
Peter, Paul, and Mary, like I said.
Here you go. Not to be left out, though.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Too much noise there. All that crap. Whatever that is.
They did it first, you know.
Did they? Too bad. What do you mean they did it? Peter, Paul, and Mary?
Yes.
Well, of course they did. A message left at the office of Liotta's publicist, Matt Laboff, was not immediately returned. Liotta stars with Tim Allen and John Revolta in the buddy comedy Wild Hogs, set for release March 2nd. Wild Hogs. Great. There you go. Well, it could happen to the best of us. A little DUI action there for Ray Liotta. It's probably the curse of those zits coming back to haunt him. 1,373 votes on the poll. Gay people are born that way, 654. Are fine with me, 339. Choose that life, 97. Oh, we got it down to 7%. Aren't you proud of me? We got it down to an even 7%.
Yeah.
Gay people love Tim Hardaway, 80. In fact, they're probably at his car wash right now. They're probably washing it off. I hate this poll, 46, 3.3%. Gay people want me, 46. They're chasing me all over the place. Right. Gay people are all flamers, 42. Wish they were straight, 26. Are easy to spot, 24. And scare me, man. They are scary. Not as scary as Cecil Collins, but almost. 19.
The biggest names of best talent. This is Neil Rogers, Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil Rogers.
We singled you out 'cause you look like a freak. with eyes that bulge out and a nose like a bee. Don't want any viewers to go. What you want at the end of the show? 'Cause you're dorky and you're fat. You waddle in, this is your big chance. But everyone laughs at your gigantic pants. We say your voice is a total train wreck, and then we make fun of your birth defects. Laughing at you is kinda sad, 'cause you have a bad face, you're a little bit slow. Weirdos like you make this the #1 show. Randy has a blank stare, Simon says cruel things. It's morons like you that drive Paul in a drink. You have a bad face, the camera don't lie. You're on a freak show called American Idol. You have a bad face. You have a bad face.
Maybe that's what happened with Ray Liotta. He looked in the mirror, he saw he had on zits. He has a bad face, and he started boozing up a little bit.
Hey, it was his choice.
What, to have a bad
drink.
face?
To drink.
To have all them zits? He's a zit head, man.
Oh, I know.
1382 on the poll. We're like on the verge of 1400. We got 17 minutes for 18 votes. Should be able to do it. Come on, you folks better lean on it. Now, if we fall a little bit short, that's going to be a real poke in our eye. Isn't it going to be?
I'm leaning.
1384 on President's Day. Man, that Short Fat Fanny by Larry Williams, that just set me free, you know what?
Well, good.
I got a whole new altitude about life right now. Not, you know.
Even more than If I Had a Hammer?
I mean, it's a good song, but I can take it or leave it. You're putting that in the same category? It's a novelty record.
It's a folk song.
Right. It's a novelty record, the Short Fat Fanny. How do you put a novelty record in you know...
What came up under Hammer?
Yeah, there you go. U.S. officials tell the New York Times that mounting evidence indicates that Osama bin Laden and his al-Qaeda deputy are building an operations hub in Pakistan. Senior leaders of al-Qaeda operating from Pakistan have reestablished significant control over their once-battered worldwide terror network, and over the past year have set up a band of training camps in the tribal regions near the Afghan border, according to U.S. intelligence and counterterrorism officials. The paper reports that U.S. officials said there was mounting evidence. I guess that's how that Tom Brady's ex-girlfriend is pregnant. I guess that would also be mounting evidence. There was mounting evidence that Osama bin Laden and his deputy, Ayman the Pieman al-Zawahiri, have been steadily building an operations hub in the mountainous Pakistani travel area of North Waziristan. The U.S. has identified several new al-Qaeda compounds in North Waziristan. Officials said that both U.S. and foreign intelligence services had collected evidence, leading them to conclude that at least one of the camps in Pakistan might be training operatives capable of striking Western targets.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you one thing about W, man. He's done a hell of a job of getting Ayman the Pieman and Osama your mama and all of these guys, all of this.
All of these things.
Heck of a job. And, of course, don't forget Mullah Bullah Omar. And the public is like, what's that got to do with Britney's haircut? She don't look so good no more. You know, she ain't looked good for a long time. Taint good.
Tainted.
Yeah. Tainted love. WQAM, hello. Not there. But that was going to be one of our really great calls, too. I could smell it. 1386. I bet if I refresh it, we got 87? 1380, like I said, 1386. We need 14 votes in 15 minutes. Could be a real nail-biter today on a holiday. And then you got that mess out there on the 836. Did you see that? Were you watching CNN?
No.
Now, what's the latest from the QM newsroom?
The latest about what?
You know, when you told me that business about Clarence, how long ago did that happen?
Remember when I went in there and had my screaming tirade about things?
Well, that's not that long ago.
No, this is less than a month ago.
Yeah.
And his comeback was that. If I can give you some programming tips.
And you didn't kick him in the face? If he can give you some programming tips on this show...
It was all funny.
What do you mean by that?
I didn't kick him in the face because I got a kick out of it.
You should have kicked his ass.
Wrecked him.
I mean, this is a simpleton, man. This is an idiot. He would know. What he knows about talk radio, you could put in a thimble and have room for his brain left over, which ain't going to take up a lot of room. That is remarkable. I thought maybe this was like years ago.
No,
he just got through telling you this last month that you shouldn't talk about
within
religion.
A month ago, yeah.
And what did you say to him? What was your rejoinder? What was your response?
That
I know what I would have said.
You fairy.
Yeah.
I said, I've heard that before, but I also get many more people saying, emails, faxes, and callers saying that it's great, keep on going. That nobody else is saying this, and somebody needs to.
Since when does the program director on this radio station tell anybody who's doing this show what we're going to talk about?
Oh, he didn't say it that way. It was just,
It was just what?
Program director feedback, if you will. I don't know exactly how he put it, but, constructive criticism, I think, is the word he used.
Hey, Clarence, I got some constructive criticism for you, okay? And all your nerdy sports guests with the same repetitive crap that you keep foisting upon the people on this station over and over and over again. That's my feedback.
I mean, I'm actually disappointed that he didn't have more problems with the show that I do, considering.
What do you mean by that?
Well, because everything that he likes really sucks in the ratings. So I was hoping that if he disliked everything that I do, then I must have a really great show going.
You know something? I'm very seldom in my life have I been speechless. This leaves me just limp. I'm serious. I just can't believe it. And I also can't believe that you're that much of a wuss that you stood there and you listen.
I'm not going to change anything. I'm
this simpering idiot, this simpleton.
I mean, God forbid we should all do it.
It's like when I came back from vacation, whatever the hell it was, last Monday.
Yeah.
And was it Chris? Was it you? He asked if I had a good time in Berlin or whatever the hell the deal was.
Yeah,
on
that
vacation.
would be me.
And you said, no, not really. And he said, did he blame us for that too?
That would be correct.
See, this goes back to what I've been talking about for a long time, and that is this adversarial relationship that we have with this radio station. They like having those big numbers there in the middle of the day to pull up everybody by the bootstraps. They like all the billing that those numbers attract, but they don't like the fact that we're not going to continue doing the same garbage that they want to do all day.
Right. Now, a long time ago, he did ask me if I
if you wanted to do a sports show,
if I had the ability, and I said neither the ability nor the desire.
If you had the ability to do what?
To talk sports.
Oh, on this show?
Well, obviously, yeah. And I said I don't have the ability or the desire. Because I like ratings. My bonus is based on ratings.
Maybe he wanted George to fill in on the weekend.
Yeah, that would.
If I had the ability to do it, I'd take you out here right now and kick your
teeth in. How's Alex Bennett doing, by the way? Is he still on Sirius?
I guess.
So Sirius and XM are going to merge. That's big news. And then they got that big wreck out there in the 836. And Brittany had her hair cut. And people are dying in Baghdad. $13.92, I think we'll make our $1,400 a day. I think it's safe to assume $13.94. We need only 6 in 10 minutes. Should be able to handle that. Gay people are born that way. 663. Almost half the audience is perspicacious enough to know that. 47.5%. Are fine with me. 346. Well, thank you so very much. 25%. Choose that life. 7%. 98. We got it down from 7.2. It was 7.2 all day long. Now it's down to 7%. Republicans, right wing, bigots, Bible thumpers. Well, the Bible says. Let me say it again. Take your Bible and wipe with it, okay? Very carefully, because that print always comes off bad. It's like wiping with a Herald. Gay people love Tim Hardaway, 82. I hate this poll, 47, 3.3%. Gay people want me. They're chasing me up and down the streets, up and down, all through the mall, through the food court, everywhere I go, in the tea room. Gay people want me, 46. And like you said, swishful thinking, guaranteed. Gay people are all flamers, 42. Wish they were straight, 26. Are easy to spot, 25. And scare the living bejesus out of me, 19. See what we got. 1397. Oh, we need only 3 more votes. We could do that. WQAM, hello.
Hey,
QAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Hey, every station you're on you have a problem with. You need to chill out.
Yeah. How long have I been on this station?
Too long.
Yeah, okay. Bye.
Well, he's right about that.
Yeah. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Yeah, this is Rogers.
Yeah, this is Rogers. Who's this?
You just start with that. Forget it.
You see how you are?
All right. We got a really good ending to this. That's what happens when you work on President's Day. Not a good day to be doing much work, you know? Well, if you're going to start with that crap, in other words, I got to tell him who I am, but who the hell is he? Well, if you're going to start with that crap, screw you. Like that. See, even on President's Day, they're surly in South Florida. They may not be good, they may not be friendly, they may not be, loving and kind and decent, but they sure are consistent. I don't think I'm ever going to get over that thing you told me about Clarence. It just shocks me the foundation.
The first conversation.
We got 1,400.
Never mind.
Go ahead. Yes?
Remember a while back when there was an episode between Joe Costello and Bo Griffin?
Yeah,
and I had Boca Brian do a couple of bits, and I told the whole story on the air and everything.
Yeah.
Well, I got a talking to about that.
Really?
And my defense was, we, on the Neil Rogers Show, whether or not Neil is here, make a point to give the audience what they want.
Right,
and
we tell them the inside scoop. Right.
Love this kind of stuff. Enter dirty laundry, especially when it's basically harmless, when it has something to do with Joe Costello spitting a chunk of olive into Bo Griffin's cleavage. I mean, what's funnier than that? It was hysterical. And Ken Malden had to intercede before she throttled Joe Costello, and that was all very funny. And I was getting a talking to, so my defense was, we give the audience what they want.
I would say next time, very easy solution, okay? Next time he starts this with you, just shoot his ass.
And then,
biggest names,
can't do it.
best talent.
This Save it for tomorrow.
Rogers.
You got it.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. My beliefs are what's required to avoid a lake of fire. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Why, my religion advocates bigotry and racial hate. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. What we like about it best, I fondle boys and wear a dress. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. We have no respect for women. Drive a cab to make a living. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. Chupacabra, spooky ghost. We slaughter pigs and dogs and goats. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We wear beanies and pigtails and never ever pay retail. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We knock on doors to bother you like Fuller Brush to spew our views. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. We wear ties and ride our bikes and get to marry lots of wives. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We don't want to use our brain for mindless livings on parade. My religion's better than yours.
Bye. When it comes to sports. Blue 89! Blue 89! We're the authority. Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Mashed potatoes, gravy, and